This hip hop, you making this shit pop. I think not time to die. Oh, you sort of a big shot. Well, look at your
What's up, guys? How's it going, everybody? There should be less delay with the chat, even though we are on YouTube currently, which is different, unique. You might hear Rose out in the background there. She's out there watching her Blippi show. I don't know if she's talking to Carissa or if she is talking to Blippi on the TV. Hey, for a more perfect America, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. $5 for the grift, LOL. Thank you for supporting the grift. I need mods on Twitch, and you're more than happy to do it. All right, I will definitely set you up on that. I just neglected to use caps on my Twitch name, LOL. Is my voice playing twice? I don't believe that it is. Are people... Oh, shit. Why is it so laggy? Let me try that. The camera is a little choppy right now, I know. We're going to see if this slows down a little bit here. Come on, man. I think YouTube is just shitty compared to Twitch or something. Why does everyone side with the NRC? A touch laggy. It's like a console trying to play a video game. I know, seriously, dude. I can't believe that I'm lagging already. Hopefully this slows up a bit. Okay, no, Skykeeper, it's playing double on your end, buddy. Okay. That's it. Alright, well, hopefully this smooths out. Close up everything here. Try to close out, hold on. Who you debating? This guy named Red Pill Gaming or something? I don't know. Anyone with the name with Red Pill in their name, instantly I have doubts. Jesus, dude. Come on. Okay. Hopefully tonight makes up for the kind of boring debate last night. It was kind of a bummer that it turned out to be so slow, you know? It's kind of surprising, I guess. Although I definitely was trying pretty hard to hold Gothics accountable. Did you get banned from Twitch? No, I said debating a guy who's banned from Twitch. He's banned from Twitch. I was also going to let you guys know that if you want to help support the channel, consider putting something in the super chat. I do not stream on YouTube really at all anymore. I really only stream on Twitch. So if you enjoy my streams, make sure you follow on Twitch where we don't get these this horrible lag either. I don't know what the fuck is wrong here. And also your donation will be read and responded to live, and it'll be greatly appreciated. That's if you'd like. Oh my, dude. I'm gonna check my task manager here and see what is eating up my fucking shit. All right. We're gonna be debating him soon. So it looks like it's Chrome that's actually doing it. Why would Chrome be like destroying my CPU? Why does it say there's 13 of them running? The fuck? This is weird. All right, that's fucking whack. Okay. Debate me and Eric. Aren't you the people that every time try to come on and then troll me and you're really annoying? So no. And this guy's going to be debating me on the vaccine again. So we'll see how that goes. We'll have to just relax, kick back, and see how all that shit goes. It's honestly like at this point, I don't know what he's gonna say. He was talking some shit about me though, actually, beforehand. Just a little surprising, man. I thought you would have been better. What was his name? Red Pill Gaming TV? Okay, yeah, this looks right. Go woke or go broke. Okay. He made a post somewhere here. Tomorrow evening, I'll be debating Hunter on COVID vaccines because my position is one that cannot be argued on YouTube. Thanks to losers like Hunter. The debate will be streamed exclusively to Odyssey. A reminder that can... Really? This is going to be interesting. I'm definitely a little excited to see how this goes. Don't forget to hit that dislike button. I mean, no. Tonight is the night. Come watch me duke it out in the Crucible Gauntlet with Hunter Avalon as I easily explain to him my opposition to COVID vaccines. I mean, I've been literally researching stuff like all day to prepare. And I keep on trying to think like, what is something that this guy could bring up that would like challenge me that I haven't heard before. I looked up stuff with COVID vaccines, see if there's any updated information. I don't know what he would bring up. For a more perfect America, you say you're getting your booster shot. I haven't gotten mine yet. All the red pill people are the same. I mean, this guy's apparently wanted to take some time to like prepare and stuff. So I want to fucking go in there with like some good faith. Dylan Burns makes an excellent point.
And I think when it comes to a modern generation of children's media, it's been quite garbage. It's brain rot. If you see how children consume YouTube content now, it's all flashing colors and symbols.
Families marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching one by...
Huh? Wait, so flashing colors and symbols. I don't even understand what's the joke? That they're flashing colors and symbols? Wait, aren't all like shows, like kid shows especially, ultimately just flashing colors and symbols and shit?
Right.
Families marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah.
Oh, I see. So he's saying this is brain rot, you see, because there's rainbow flags and they're saying families. Call-in show number 3. Get a feel for this guy's content.
There we go. James type. Oh, look at that. Okay, we got 2 people raising their hands. I don't know who the land is. The land. Whoever you are, let me know in the Trovo chat. Not sure who that is, so I can't answer that one just yet. But we are going to take our first call from James Tiberius. Let me boost the volume, and let's take our first caller. James, what is going on, man?
Where do we get to like a debate?
Can do it too. And, you know, it's like we all have our strengths and weaknesses. So
Absolutely.
it's not that big of a deal.
That's good.
I don't want to. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Catholics and Protestants.
People are going down that path. It really does make you feel good to hear it. It does make you feel good that with all of the darkness and decay and rot that there is in this world, and especially in this country, it's nice to see that light going to come up with some they technically exist. Yeah, there's some neo-Nazis out there. There's some Klansmen out there. But like as far as do they have like a significant political presence? Do they have even like they don't even have like an insignificant presence, these groups. So basically what you have is like
That is such bullshit. So I would push back against that immediately by being like, well, yeah, you're not going to have like someone that's like, I wear a swastika and I am a literal neo-Nazi and we're in power. Not someone like that blatant, but you have people like Tucker Carlson that play defense for white nationalist ideas, the great replacement theory, shit like that. You even have people like Donald Trump had, what was his name? Stephen Miller, like a known white nationalist who was exposed with leaked emails in power and in control at one point with Donald Trump. So to act like these people have absolutely no power, just a like fraction of a fraction, it's not true, especially because even though the majority of people would say that neo-Nazis are bad, of course, you still have a lot of this far right ideology that is more accepted. I wouldn't debate him, Hunter. He's beneath you. That's a very bad attitude to have. So, no, he's not beneath me. He wants to debate me on vaccines. I like debating vaccines. I'm going to fucking go for it. I like him. He's just misguided. I mean, maybe. I don't know how... Maybe I'll go on... I don't know if I should go in hot or not. I mean, he called me a loser, so I'm definitely a little triggered. All right, well, while we wait, we're going to just chill, relax, and watch this video. This is a 1950s anti-homosexual PSA, okay? Now, other than the fact that this is in black and white, a lot of the bullshit that is spewed in this video is very reminiscent of the homophobic language of today. So I thought, while we wait, we would go ahead and review an anti-homo PSA from the 1950s. Let's take a look. You got your nice old-fashioned music right in the beginning. Boys beware. So I guess, are they fine with lesbians? This is kind of like a sort of an endorsement of lesbianism then, right? So it's just the boys that need to be aware. Okay. A man walks to his car one sunny afternoon. I just like to see, like...
I'm Lieutenant Williams, a police officer attached to the Juvenile Division. I'm on my way to Monroe Junior High School to talk to a group of young people. That looks innocent enough, doesn't it? Lots of young people hitchhike. Seems like a good way to get from one place to another. But sometimes...
So right off the bat, we have some massive culture shock there. Lots of people hitchhike. That's a small... I love how in the PSA about how scary gay people are, they like just endorsed hitchhiking, which is actually something extremely dangerous that has resulted in like countless deaths. I don't want to say countless because I don't know the exact numbers, but I know for a fact that people have been murdered before by hitchhikers. So a little bit of irony there. They're like, remember, the gay guys. Remember, boys, beware. It's the gays that are scary. But hitchhiking, drink some bleach, smoke your cigarettes, you know, all that, it's fine.
There are dangers involved that never meet the eye. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride.
To thumb a ride. Wow. How times have changed. They didn't use Uber? Wasn't there like a little, like a typewriter version of Uber where they used, no, didn't they use Morse code? Was there not Uber back then? Okay.
He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation.
Okay.
He seemed like a real nice guy. He asked Jimmy if he played baseball in the park often. Jimmy
Yeah.
told him they practiced 3 times a week and played a rival group on Friday afternoon. The stranger was a good listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they pulled up in front of Jimmy's house.
Wow. A man showing interest in you and your sports. He could be gay. I kind of like the flip there. How it's like, does he talk a lot about football? Does he talk obsessively about the NFL and how cool sports are? He might be a closeted homosexual. I might be able to get behind that.
When Jimmy got out, the stranger gave him a friendly pat.
Uh-oh. Boys beware, the friendly pat. 1 second it's the friendly pat, the next thing you know you're in a bathroom stall doing God knows what.
Then he'd see him again, as he always drove by the park on his way home.
All right. Careful, Jimmy.
Sure enough, the following day, when Jimmy finished playing ball, well, the man was there waiting.
Another guy, the same guy waiting for him.
They stopped at a drive-in, and the stranger treated him to a Coke. During their conversation, he told several off-color jokes, but Jimmy had heard others before, and, well, it made him feel big to so easily win the confidence of an older person.
They then went on a romantic stroll through the park and looked at swans. What the fuck? He told crass jokes. Oh, wait,
The
sorry.
following Saturday, they went fishing together.
They're going
By now,
fishing.
they were using first names. Ralph said it was more friendly.
Uh-oh. I don't know about you guys, but we got friendly pats. We're on a first name basis. This is looking gay AF.
Jimmy hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time.
Mm.
Then during lunch, Ralph showed him some pornographic pictures. Jimmy knew
Uh-oh.
he shouldn't be interested, but, well, he was curious. What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick. A sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less
Uh-oh.
dangerous and contagious. A sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual. A person who demands an intimate relationship.
Can we just replace that with conservative? You see, Ralph was a conservative. That would be way funnier. But anyway, this is why I say this shit looks like it's made by the Groypers, just in black and white. Mentally sick. The mental illness. He was a homosexual. This is just so fucked up. And it's actually pretty, just sad to see the perception that people had of gay people back then. I mean, their perception of gay people was literally the creepy bald dude with the porn glasses and the porn stash picking up younger dudes and showing them porn while fishing alone at the lake with the swans.
Dangerous and contagious. A sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual. A person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex.
I like that too. They demand it. Really?
But by now, Jimmy felt a fondness for Ralph, and they continued to go places together. Ralph was generous and took Jimmy many interesting places and did many nice things for him.
Oh no. They even played golf.
Presents and even gave him money. But payments were expected in return. You see, Jimmy hadn't recognized Ralph's approach soon enough.
Uh-oh.
When Ralph first asked Jimmy to go fishing alone,
Oh, no.
he should have discussed it with his parents or teacher.
What?
Finally, Jimmy told his parents, and they
Wait. Oh, they were walking up to a motel. The PSA is pretty based. Fuck off. Jeez. Yup. You just... That's how it is. First, you just want to thumb a ride. You get the friendly pat. Next thing you know, you're walking up to the motel. Well, it's a good thing that Jimmy told his parents. Gay or not, taking advantage of minors is a bad thing. But the fact that they're portraying gay people as if this is something like, or the fact that they're portraying this as if this is like something specific to the gays, it's really pathetic. It's also a classic bigoted move, which is the think of the children trope.
Fishing alone. He should have discussed it with his parents or teacher. Finally, Jimmy told his parents, and they reported it to the juvenile authorities. Ralph was arrested, and Jimmy was released on probation in the custody of his parents.
Wait. Wait, you're telling me this boy got molested and then was released on probation? Wait. He was released on probation?
Juvenile authorities. Ralph was arrested, and Jimmy was released on probation in the custody of his parents. But all homosexuals...
I was taken advantage of. All right, boy. Well, that is illegal, so you're going to spend the night in the cell, all right? Hunter, can you point me to a gay gene? No, because there's not a single gay gene, but it is still like, I think it's like 20% genetic. It's a combination of various genes.
Homosexuals are not passive. Some resort to violence, as in the case of Mike Merrick.
The creepy music.
In the heat of competition, no one noticed the man who sat and watched. And when the game broke up and the others left, Mike decided to stay and practice a little longer.
Uh-oh. This isn't looking good. Look out, Mike.
The stranger joined him. He was friendly, and, well, it was better than playing alone. But after a few shots, Mike realized he had already overstayed his time and suggested he better leave. The stranger told him if he'd like to stay longer, he'd be glad to drive him home when they finished. Sounded great to Mike. Chance to play longer and get a ride home, too.
Again, just the irony. It's like gay people scary, but getting in cars with strangers is a-okay. This is definitely getting creepy. This guy's coming over. He's playing with this guy's ball. This is getting gay.
The stranger told him he'd make a fine player someday if he got lots of practice. The companionship, the praise, the friendly attitude dispelled any misgivings Mike might have had about going with a stranger. He probably never realized until too late that he was riding in the shadow of death. But sometime that evening, Mike Merrick traded his life for a newspaper headline.
What? Damn.
Denny and Jerry got the papers ready for Jerry's afternoon delivery.
Look out, guys. Why don't you just have an anti-rape/murder PSA? That seems a lot better than this anti-gay thing of all the gays are the spooky, creepy killers. Beware of gay Freddy Krueger. He's in your dreams. He will kill again.
The papers ready for Jerry's afternoon delivery. They only casually noticed the two boys that raced by in the afternoon traffic, and they didn't pay much attention to the car that drew up shortly afterwards until the man called them over. Had two boys been by on bicycles? The boys nodded they had. Could they recognize them if they saw them again? Well, Denny guessed he could. And hop in, the man said. Those are stolen bikes. Without giving it another thought, Denny got in and the car sped away. Jerry watched. He'd been told many times, if a friend got in a car with a stranger, to write down the license number. It didn't seem to apply, but, well, fortunately, he marked it down.
Good job, buddy. Smart. Thinking ahead.
When he delivered a paper to Denny's house, he asked his mother if they caught the boys that had stolen the bicycles. Denny hadn't returned, so he told her the story and gave her the paper with the license number.
Uh-oh.
Being a
Hurry.
careful parent, she decided to call the police. Jerry supplied the necessary information, and the stranger's car was quickly spotted. It was a good example of how important it is to always get the license number and description of any stranger who takes a young person off alone, no matter what they tell you.
Okay, well, I think we can agree with that one.
Public restrooms can often be a hangout for the homosexual. Bobby and his friends had noticed.
I hate how they talk about it like it's a fucking National Geographic's documentary. You can observe the homosexual in its natural habitat. In the public bathrooms outside of the football stadium. Especially in the New York Jets, am I right?
Bobby and his friends hadn't noticed the man who'd been in the restroom when they changed. Another lady suggested they take the shortcut under the pier, but the others preferred to take the more traveled way home.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Someone should make this into a
Bobby
meme.
recognized the stranger as the man in the restroom. The shortcut under the pier didn't seem like a good idea at all.
Uh-oh. I bet this guy's gay. I just have a
After all, it's
feeling.
more fun to stay with your friends anyway. Bobby had made a wise decision. It may have saved his life. The decision is always yours, and your whole future may depend on making the right one. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill. So keep with your group, and don't go
Holy
off alone with
shit.
strangers, unless you have the permission of your
This
parents
is
or
so
teachers.
fucked. All right, well, this was very gripping. I would rate the pun intended, okay? This was extremely gripping. Yes. It's like if Steven Spielberg became a groiper. Congratulations. I don't know what I'm more afraid of now. This was a fun one, dude. It's fun now considering how much progress we've made, but goddamn, could you imagine if you were like a gay person in the 50s and you see this and you're like, dude, I'm just a gay guy. I'm not demanding sex. I'm not out here trying to fucking take advantage of people. I'm not killing stuff. I don't want to get killed. I just want to live my life, and I'm being portrayed like I'm this monstrous pedophile. It's honestly kind of sad. Thank God we've progressed since then. Yeah, seriously. All right. Oh, I saw this the other day. Yeah, it's fucking cringe AF. If a man plays basketball with you, run. What else do we want to hit on before we get on to this debate? I should probably load up my fucking Twitter DMs, shouldn't I? Oops. All right. All right, we'll get this loaded up. So my dad is gay. Is he overly That's funny, dude. Be careful if someone tries to get too personal with you. If they seem really friendly. Or if they try to constantly build up your confidence. Is my father gay? Wait, Hunter's debating Destiny? Funny. Destiny is not banned on Twitch. He was at one point, but not anymore. And the reason he was banned was for some bullshit too. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this. So you guys know the Gab shit, like the social media site? This dude, Andrew Torba, who is like the guy behind Gab, he's like a fucking nutcase. But anyway, he's providing a exemption template, a religious exemption template. Ooh. And so, wait, where's the PDF? Oh, here we go. So basically they said you have to fill out the military exemption. Why is this opening in Internet Explorer? What the fuck? Why isn't it working? Ugh. Bruh. Is this the one where they talk about it? Halston Wirt, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I'll be honest, I don't get why people keep referring to the vaccine as a jab. It's like a poke at the most. True. Wings of Who, thank you for the $5 donation. What year was Not Straight finally removed from mental diseases list? I don't know. I think it was in the 70s. Well, anyway, I've looked. I don't think they're going to let me download it. I was able to open it on my phone, so I don't know why it's not working here. But anyway, I just thought it was funny because the medical exemption was all talking about the abortion shit. And it's so fucking cringy. They're like, an abortion, these cells derived from an abortion. My instant question would be like, okay, have you taken any other medication that uses these fetal cell lines? Let's actually look this up. This is one other thing I have to look up really quick before we go. Oh, look at this. This might be a good counter argument. Fetal cells in the cosmetics, food, and medical. If you answer yes to any of these questions, there's a chance you may have a product that was made using human fetal cells. While it's not a universal practice, certain brands in the cosmetics, food, and medical industries use fetal cells for a variety of purposes, from testing and production to inclusion in the final product. Fetal cells have been used for research since the 1930s. In order to obtain these cells, an aborted fetus is collected after their death, usually by a biotechnology company, university, or medical center. A tissue donation is removed, and the sample is brought to a lab where the cells are replicated extensively. These cell lines are given an alphanumeric, name. Okay. Okay, so why? The stocks of cell lines must be replenished periodically. For example, in 2015, a new lung sample was taken from a 3-month-old aborted fetus to create a cell line known as Walvax-2. Okay. Fetal cell lines are used most extensively in the medical industry in testing, production, and treatment. Okay. Human fetal cells are also used to grow the viruses that are used in certain vaccines, since viruses cannot easily be replicated without a cell to host them. The vaccines for chickenpox, rubella, and shingles are examples of vaccines that use fetal cells in their production process. Not all vaccines are produced in this way, and there are some ethical alternatives that don't use these fetal cell lines in their creation. Okay, so it's a federal crime to buy or sell fetal tissue. Okay. Very far, recent advancements research. The morality surrounding fetal cell usage is complicated. The fact that it's a human cell is not the problem. The issue is the fact that these cells were obtained by killing human children. Would you be okay with it if it were like a miscarriage? On the one hand, fetal cells can be used to produce medicines and vaccines that reduce suffering and save countless lives. On the other hand, fetal cells that are obtained through abortions are inherently derived from an act of violence. I don't agree with this. As mentioned above, donations of placentas or stem cells from an adult do not kill the donor, so they are perfectly ethical to utilize in research. Additionally, cells can be ethically obtained through a fetus who died of natural causes. Some pro-lifers elect to avoid any product that was made of fetal cell lines. The thing that people don't understand is that you can't, like, just like they're not doing abortions for this reason. This is like something that they're utilizing on the same while abortions are also occurring. But there's a good thing here that I wanted to write down, because this explains very clearly how. Yeah, this is like a super fucking Christian thing. Here we go. This was an interesting human fetal cell lines are also used to. I like that. I'm gonna just snip that part from my notes here. Hey Hunter, how are the kids? They're doing great. Oh, you know what? I wonder if they're gonna send it to me via email. Not quite. Yeah, it's just I also need to find the what medication. All right. Whether but the use of fetal cell lines in medicine's research and development is a much broader subject. We'll take a short look. Hold on. Someone cited another form. He says there are 66,000 published studies. Okay. No. Common over the counter. Okay. Perfect. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Tylenol, ibuprofen, aspirin. Yeah. This is what I need right here. Okay. All right, I'm ready to get started, man. Let's go. I'm trying to decide if I should take another hit. Do I want to take some weed? Some people are obsessed with what women do to their bodies. Yep, that's true. Well, maybe I'll let this guy win tonight, because I'll be so blazed. I'll just be like, yeah, dude, you know what? Your ideas are... Actually, if anything, I will need to get higher to try to understand it. Like, the government and the lizard people are all combining... Yeah, dude, whoa. Bruh, I think my mind is opening up. This is an 18 and up stream. This is also legal use, considering I'm medical and authorized to use this in my state. So, if you are under the age of 18, leave. Remember, if you want to send me a donation via PayPal or Super Chat, now is the time to do it, because I'm not streaming on YouTube anymore. I'm streaming on Twitch. And any PayPal donation will go to help me get blazed. Cool. Hello. Wait. Hello. Wait, hold
Can
on.
you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, we're gonna start in 1 minute.
All right, I'm live, as you probably know, just on YouTube, not on Twitch.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to reduce the power usage. Whoa. Let's turn that down. Probably isn't going to get me any copyright shit, but still. All right. Okay. I know I'm getting lag. You don't gotta tell me twice, all right? Let's keep that closed down. Okay. Can I just get rid of this private chat bullshit? Ugh. Whatever. Official USR, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Love you, Hunter. Keep doing you. Hey, man, thank you. Whoops. I'm gonna fix some of this shit. Okay, here's the let me check and see if... I kind of like this music. It's kind of cool sounding. Uh-oh. I like how just like simply touching Google Chrome is all it takes to just fucking destroy it. Like, I'm fascinated by Big Papa Fascist. Yeah, you're right, by the way, that, well, I don't think he's insane, but...
Gonna get down to it. Tonight we've got
He's
Red
more
Pill
rational than
Gaming
some.
TV versus Hunter Avalon. It's gonna be quite the clash. I've been looking forward to it quite a bit. I'm gonna bring out our debaters. Red Pill Gaming, how are you doing tonight?
Here we go, guys. You ready?
I'm great,
scared.
man. How's it going?
It's going well. This is your first debut on the Crucible, and it's up against Hunter Avalon on vaccines. It's going to be an amazing debate. I can't wait to see it. Hunter, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, you know, just living the dream, man. Just living the dream.
Oh,
RPG, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. I have a little intro here. My name is Red Pill Gaming TV. I'm a dissident right-wing streamer with a daily news program that's been banned from 109 different streaming platforms, including Twitch, DLive, and Trovo. So far, that's the list. Hopefully, we can keep it to that, but you can never be too certain. Due to the fact most leftists are massive pussies that are incapable of interacting with right-wing opinions in an environment which they do not completely control. I currently stream on Odyssey and upload stream highlights to YouTube whenever TOS permits, which is increasingly rare these days. For life-altering hot takes, you can follow me on Telegram at RPG TV, or you can follow me on Gab at Red Pill Gaming TV.
Man, that's a hell of an introduction. Hunter, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, you can, if you're interested in watching a massive leftist pussy, you can look me up on, just search my name, Hunter Avalon. I'm on Twitch and YouTube mainly. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, since you were the challenger, RPG, I'm going to let you open, and then Hunter can respond. You have a 5-minute open. You don't have to use all that time. You can yield it back if you choose to. Then it'll
Please
be
do.
Hunter's open. You'll both also have your opportunity for closing statements. After closing statements, the floor will be open. And of course, I'm going to keep the moderation as fair as possible. I do not take sides during a debate. All right, go ahead.
All righty. So the ultimate question I will pose to Hunter tonight is this. If vaccines cannot stop infection or transmission, which is not a fast right-wing conspiracy theory, by the way, but the latest admission from CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, as well as other medical experts I've been instructed are never to be questioned, why should young, healthy people such as myself, and especially children, which lunatic leftists are now pushing for, get vaccinated? The reality is the theoretical greater good, which I'm sure Hunter will invoke at some point, we need to protect grandma, is only possible by sacrificing perfectly healthy people. It's a numbers game driven exclusively by business interests, which, by the way, is something leftists normally claim to oppose despite their incestuous relationship. And I'm personally not willing to roll the dice on my life or health to give corporate bootlickers and vax slaves like Hunter Avallone a virtually insignificant higher chance of survival. I don't like people like Hunter, and I won't pretend I care very much about what happens to them. I'm not sure why Hunter would want to do this for the greater good either, given that the greater good includes tens of millions of people he routinely refers to as neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and crypto-fascists. At this very moment, leftists are unanimously endorsing an idea proposed by Noam Chomsky that the unvaccinated should be removed from polite society, then starved to death. In other words, the only way to achieve the greater good, according to these people, is by exterminating those who comprise said greater good. Is this sounding familiar? Anyway, rather than Hunter legitimately caring about the well-being of us all, it's far more likely he makes claims like this because he feels there's some social benefit in doing so. The claim, which is demonstrably false, gives him an increased sense of virtue. He gets another boost in self-ascribed superiority by living vicariously through scientists and medical experts when he does nothing more than agree with and regurgitate the corporate-sponsored scientific consensus, failing to realize at any point that science in the modern era has become wholly ideological and profit-driven. This explains how a leftist can look you square in the face and claim it is somehow possible for a man to become pregnant or menstruate, which, as a reminder to any leftist in the audience, is a biological impossibility. Getting back to this supposed greater good, though, the only greater good I care about is the greater good of my own and of those I love or care about. Unlike most leftists, I'm not ashamed to admit this, and I don't pretend otherwise. I'm not going to get vaccinated to protect the Haitian invaders that became Americans yesterday. I'm not going to get vaccinated to help international big pharma conglomerates like Pfizer and Moderna rake in additional billions of dollars on my behalf in order to help them beta test a vaccine technology that's never seen widespread distribution in humans before, and therefore has unknown long-term side effects. I'm well aware the chances of having an adverse reaction to the vaccine are slim, or as aware as I can be, given the incomplete data, but I'm also aware that my chances of ending up in a hospital due to COVID infection are just as slim, and my chances of dying from COVID are virtually non-existent. With all that being said, I will circle back to my original question. Why, Hunter, given that vaccines cannot stop transmission, and also given that there is no relationship between vaccine rates and case rates, should someone young and healthy like me be forced to get vaccinated?
Hunter, it's your open.
Yeah, well, I mean, he asked me a question, so we can just jump into it. If
Sure.
vaccines can't stop transmission, I guess you're getting this from the statement from the CDC director, where they say high viral load suggests an increased risk of transmission and raised concern that, unlike with other variants, vaccinated people infected with Delta can transmit the virus. So you realize the fact that we even have a Delta virus variant here is because of anti-vax people. And do you also realize that anti-vax... Hold on, wait. Do you also realize that anti-vax individuals raise the risk of new variants? So you don't get to create the problem and then complain about the problem simultaneously.
Okay, so right off the bat, tonight during this debate, that is the last time you're going to refer to me as an anti-vaxxer. Okay, I am not against
Did I call
vaccine.
you an anti-vaxxer?
You just did. Yes, you just did. You just implied that I was an anti-vaxxer. Do you think I'm an anti-vaxxer? How about we start there?
I don't know. Like, we're trying.
You're obviously let's cut the act. You're obviously implying that I am an anti-vaxxer. You think everybody who shares my views is an anti-vaxxer. I'm not against vaccines in theory. I look at them on a case-by-case basis.
So you're
and
against
when it comes
just the COVID vaccine you're against?
Yeah, well, there may be others. I would have to do my research on other vaccines as well. But because tonight's discussion is about the COVID vaccine, that's what I'm prepared to discuss. So
Well,
yes,
I think it's fair to assume for right now that Hunter's being good faith.
Yeah.
Until I see him not being good faith.
Yeah, so vaccines absolutely do stop transmission, and the way that they do that is by preventing you from getting it in the first place, and then that simultaneously can prevent transmission. Second of all, again, it's not just about if you die. It's not just about if you go to the hospital. It's about how the anti-vaxxers overall negatively impact the entire country. So, for example, we have hospitals that are having their resources completely strained. I have some information here about, this is in one particular state, they say we are seeing our hospital system strained. According to this one lady, there were 2,400 people with COVID-19 in hospital beds across the state, with 600 in ICUs on the day that she spoke with the press. And then she also said that as a result, patients are sometimes needing to be rescheduled for surgical procedures. So when we have unvaccinated people like you, for example, who doesn't want to get vaccinated, you might get the virus and you might be fine. Now, let's ignore the fact that if you get the virus, you have significant long-term risks.
that's not true. That's not true.
That is absolutely true.
Demonstrate it.
Well, if you want to look at the risk of having an erectile dysfunction, the way that COVID actually can interact with the blood flow into the testicles can literally cause erectile dysfunction. And I know that anti-vaxxers now.
Is that something you were researching?
This isn't all.
That in particular?
Are you trying to get a dunk on me right now, or what are you implying now? Okay, good try. But anyway, when you don't get vaccinated and then you spread it to somebody who maybe is more susceptible, who will end up going to the hospital, that creates a strain on our hospital resources, which negatively impacts everyone. If you need to go to the hospital for any reason, it could be COVID unrelated, but that can still impact all of us. So that right there is a reason. Second of all,
but the vaccinated are spreading COVID right now. That's been demonstrated time and time again. And the reason why they're doing that,
about spreading.
the reason why they're doing that is because the vaccines are not effective. I know people
That's
like
not
you like
true.
to say
It is
that they're not
effective.
effective.
It absolutely.
It depends how you define efficacy. If you're talking about immunity, the vaccines are not providing immunity any longer, and that's exactly what the problem is. Not that
You're saying things that are not true. They do.
Yes,
still
I am.
provide-
That is
First of all,
absolutely
no, no,
true.
no, they
And
provide-
whatever wasn't true, then you need to
Okay,
respond
they
to it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
make sure you let him respond to it then.
They
RPG.
absolutely provide immunity. I can send you here if you want a meta-analysis. Hold on, let me pull it up for you. All right, hold on.
And I could send you the CDC director saying that the vaccines cannot stop transmission. That's why they're
thing. You're being dishonest right now because I just,
No, I'm not being
Yes, you are,
dishonest.
because I just read this thing and they said that it was the vaccine didn't help as much with the Delta variant specifically. And again, we
what's
already
the
talked about
primary
how with the-
variant right
Hold
now?
on, we already
what's
talked.
the variant we're dealing with right now? We've been dealing with for the last few months. It's the Delta variant.
And there are
So
already other variants that scientists are getting concerned about as well. And this is because when people refuse to get vaccinated and in
That's
their
not true.
Yes,
It's not
especially
true.
when they're in large enclaves, this can
It's not true.
Okay, just keep saying that then.
It simply isn't true, though, because the vaccinated and the unvaccinated are both capable of producing mutated versions of the virus. So what you're saying is simply not true.
No, I'll read you this little quote here from.
I don't care. I don't care what you read me. What you're saying isn't
Okay,
true.
so then you would rather just go with your feelings, or
I'm
what?
not going
Like,
with feelings. I can read you if you want. I can read you articles that I have here too that say what you're saying isn't true, and that vaccinated
can you send
people.
me- can you read me some of
if
those
the-
articles, please?
Sure. If the vaccine isn't effective enough, then it's actually going to train the virus to work around the antibodies, which in turn will make it potentially more powerful.
So, Can you send me some articles that say that, please? And I'll
Sure.
read you really quick the thing I have. So Christopher Martin, a professor of public health at West Virginia University, explains that under-vaccinated pockets create more opportunity for the virus to mutate. The virus that causes COVID-19 replicates only when inside a human host, and it does so by hijacking our cellular machinery to make more copies of itself instead of more copies of human cells. But that process is messy and mistakes can be made. Those mistakes often result in mutations that create slightly different versions of the invading pathogen. So that right there, a quote from a professional in this department, has acknowledged and has said very clear cut how.
Okay, and I could find you quotes from professionals in this department that say the
Can you
complete opposite.
please?
So
I've asked
I
you
can,
and you haven't
sure.
sent me anything. Like,
Sure. Well, where do you want me to drop it?
Well, because you keep.
You can drop it in the private chat if you look over on the side of the screen where it says, yeah, there you go. And then
This is just one example. If you want, we could spend the rest of the stream. I could look up other sources. This is an NPR article. I assume that this is a source that you would respect, and it's the transcript of a conversation between two professionals discussing how vaccines are capable of driving
right
the
off the
evolution
bat, I say
of
the
more.
NPR science correspondent reports that's not cause for alarm. So that's right at the very top. So I mean, I'm
Well,
literally-
these
I'm
are
trying to
these are
speed read
this
here,
is
but-
NPR we're talking about. These are other corporate bootlicking vax slaves we're talking about. So of course they're going to try to twist and bend it to make it seem like, well, you still have to get vaccinated, even though the vaccine is capable. The vaccinated are capable of producing variants. I don't want to have this discussion because to me this is not really productive. You believe that the unvaccinated, they are solely responsible for creating mutations. There is plenty of evidence out there.
I did not say they were solely responsible.
Okay,
Of course,
so how
anytime
responsible
they're-
are they?
I don't know. Do you want me to quantify it?
Exactly, you don't
Obviously,
know. So why are we
anything-
having this
Gotta give 'em a chance.
conversation?
Wait, come on,
Fine,
dude.
Mark.
No, we're
You gotta
okay.
give 'em a
Shut
chance.
You don't know.
No.
You
This
don't
is-
know. You just said you don't know. So
You've got to give him a chance to respond.
You're acting in such bad faith. You're asking me here for a specific number. I don't know the quantifiable exact.
Doesn't that matter?
25% is blah 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 blah. No,
It matters,
doesn't.
though.
What
Of
matters
course it
is that
does.
the unvaccinated create a larger risk and are more likely.
how do you?
to
You just said
create-
you don't know. You're saying they create a larger risk, but you're also at the same time saying you don't know what the risk is. So if it's a larger risk, then give me a number.
All right,
I looked
well,
into it myself. It's hard to find. There's a lot
Yeah,
of mixed reports.
so-
Some
so-
articles say that the vaccinated are to blame.
The thing
Some
you
say
just
that
sent me, for example, said that there was no cause for alarm, and then you cited the CDC.
in their
thing.
opinion.
And then you
In their
literally-
opinion,
and
there's no
then you
cause for
cited
alarm.
The CDC thing is evidence that the transmission thing isn't working. When we read it, and it was actually just talking about specifically the Delta variant. So I'm having a
The
really
Delta
hard time-
variant is the variant that we're
So-
dealing with right now.
I know. And then I read you the quote from the doctor, or from the professor, excuse me, who explained how people who are unvaccinated have a higher risk, or have a high risk at least, since we're not getting into the exact numbers, since you said there are mixed reports. They do have a very high risk, though, themselves, of creating more mutations. And
I can find a doctor who says the opposite. So how about instead of this?
No, I'm pushing back against this anti-intellectual take that you're saying. I can find a doctor that says this. I can say a doctor that says this.
Yeah,
It's not about
right.
just one specific doctor that are saying these things. This is about a vast medical consensus.
And
when
I
it
could
comes to
find
the-
a vast medical consensus as well.
No,
The thing is
no,
would
you
you
can't.
would you
When it comes to
consider
the-
would
when it
you
comes to the
consider the
efficacy
medical
of-
consensus
when it
is
comes to
whatever
the
agrees with
efficacy of
your
this-
personal views?
Guys, we're getting too
This-
far into this to the point where I can't even understand what one's saying over the other. RPG, you have the floor for right now, but if you guys can try to make an effort to not interrupt each other so that the audience can follow the debate, that would be great. Go ahead.
All right. So, what you consider the medical consensus is whatever science agrees with you. You understand that it's not a lie, because you understand that any scientist that puts forward the views that I'll put forward tonight, they lose everything. They lose their livelihood.
Also a lie.
Their It's not a lie. It's
There were
not.
those-
You
wait,
cannot.
Do you realize you mean remember that whole group of doctors that
They're
came
called
out pushing for
anti-vaxxers, and they lose their
remember that whole
jobs.
group of doctors that came out talking about hydroxychloroquine and how they got like a fuck ton of praise and attention from right-wing media and whatnot? Come on, dude. Now, if you want to
No,
get back
actually, I
to
have no
like
idea
an
what you're talking. I have no
actual
idea what you're
thing-
talking about. I don't see how that's relevant. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you
And
wanna
show me
actu-
where the doctors that are talking about hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. Show me where they are right now.
Okay, listen. When it comes to the overall vaccine, and when I'm talking about a medical consensus, I am talking to you about how, one, there's an international recognition that this vaccine is safe and effective. Even in places where they had another outbreak, the vaccine is doing its job, and that is ultimately protecting people from the worst aspects of this virus. So the vaccine works almost in layers. There is an aspect of it that gives you, because what it does is it introduces a spike protein, and that creates antibodies, which literally helps you build up immunity, yes, but it also gives you protection against having a worse outbreak if you are to get COVID. So again, if you get COVID, if you're vaccinated and you get COVID, because everyone knows no vaccine is 100%, if you are vaccinated and you get COVID, you're less likely to go to the hospital and you're less likely to die. We are seeing this.
But can I respond at some point?
Yes, but I just want to say that's international. We can see this all over the world.
Okay, and you're saying the vaccine is doing its job. The vaccine isn't doing its job, which is why they're calling for boosters right now, because the efficacy, the immunity is dropping
You don't
rapidly.
understand how vaccines work, clearly.
Can I
So,
finish a point?
I don't know. Can you stop saying
Yeah,
things
you
that are
do.
wrong
You do.
every
You
time?
do have to let him finish too. He did let you finish your point. Go ahead, RPG.
Okay, so the problem with the vaccines, the reason why they're not effective, you say this like a dog. You've been conditioned like a dog to say the vaccines are safe and effective. They're safe and effective. You don't know that they're safe because you don't know what the adverse reaction rates from the vaccine are. It's impossible to know. We have a system that tracks it, which you don't accept, called VAERS. So if we have a system that tracks it, but you say, oh, well, anybody can file a report, so it doesn't count, and it isn't being tracked, and OSHA right now is directing employers to not track it because they don't want to deter employees from getting vaccinated, how can you say the vaccine is safe when there isn't any quantifiable database out there showing us exactly the adverse reactions?
We don't need a suit like, well, first of all, when we
Yes,
come
we
to, well, hold
do.
on, when we're talking about VAERS, it's true that anybody can file a report, and it's also true that you shouldn't take VAERS at face value. But that database still does come in handy because doctors ultimately look over that and snuff out the false reports and try to, they try to take what they can from that information. But again, it's not just VAERS that we need to look at. It's also the clinical trials that we can look at. So a good example of this is like the myocarditis thing. We hear this brought up a lot. Oh, myocarditis, it's so spooky. But again, the way that I can confidently
Is it not?
The way that I can confidently
Heart
say
inflammation isn't of concern?
not
Like, you're
not
the
in
way
this
the way you're
aspect,
just
no. First of all, if
Why
you get-
not?
because first of all, if you get COVID, you have a 18 times higher risk of getting myocarditis. Second of all, myocarditis from the vaccine is excruciatingly rare, and when the people do,
You don't know that is
Yes,
the point
I
where is the
do. I'm
discussion we're
trying
having
to
right
cite-
now is you
hold on.
don't know
I'm trying
that.
to cite you something right now.
Okay.
So they conducted a study where they gave the vaccine to 2.5 million people, and out of those 2.5 million people, there were only 54 cases of myocarditis. And out of those 54 cases, the majority of them were better in days and didn't require any medical attention or anything whatsoever. It was a mild case of myocarditis, and that was really it. Keep in mind again that if you get COVID, your risk of developing myocarditis is significantly higher. So it's a cross-benefit analysis here. It's not, if I get COVID versus do I want to have the protection against COVID? And in this aspect, absolutely, yes. If you're going to complain about something like myocarditis, it would be way better to get the vaccine.
Okay, so what percentage of people that contract COVID ends up with myocarditis?
Which part? What from the study that I just cited, or
Just answer the question.
what? See, this seems to be
The question is clear.
Hold on,
The
wait.
question
I am
was
gonna call you
the
an
question was
anti-vaxxer now
clear.
for a
I
second
said what
because you're-
percentage of people that contract COVID get myocarditis?
Let me pull up the CDC things here. Hold on.
Because just to put it out there, the vast majority of people that get COVID have either no symptoms or mild symptoms. Okay, so COVID in general is not a deadly virus. Yes, it is highly contagious, but it isn't deadly.
Association between COVID-19 and myocarditis. Let's see. During March 2020 to January 2021, patients with COVID-19 had nearly 16 times the risk for myocarditis compared with patients who did not have COVID-19.
Yeah, but what percentage of those with COVID
My
have
dude, I'm
myocarditis?
trying to find it. Listen, this is the thing that anti-vaxxers tend to do.
I don't
want
to. Okay, so you're calling me an anti-vaxxer.
Yes,
so I
Yes,
was right
yes,
when
you
I
are.
assumed that you were referring to me as an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, you're absolutely
and
an
you're,
anti-vaxxer.
You're
Yeah,
not
you're
going to
up here-
do that, though.
Because you're giving me every
no, you're not going to do that. I'm not. No, you're not going to do that. This debate will not continue if you're going to use that derogatory slur against me. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm against the COVID vaccine.
Why are you such
because
a
COVID,
snowflake about this? Okay, fine. You're an anti-COVID
because
vaxxer.
you're
Do you want that to be?
because you're using a derogatory slur against me in order to marginalize my position on this. And how
You're right.
dare you
I'm
do that?
oppressing you
Because
really hard
everything
right
I'm
now.
saying everything I'm saying to you tonight is based in logic. It's based in science, research. It's rational. It's coherent. And you're going to take all of that and you're going to say, "Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer." No.
So far, you
respond to my
haven't-
points. Respond to my points
You're
and
not
keep the
making
slurs
any
out of
points.
it.
Right now, you just
I'm
asked
making
me-
a lot of points.
No, you
hang
just
on.
asked me a question. You said, "What's the percentage?" And I'm trying to scroll through the CDC to find the exact number. You're like, "Answer the fucking question." I'm gonna just send
The
this to you. and
point
you
Well,
can go
is
ahead.
hang
the
on.
percentage
Look,
is
you guys,
obviously
listen to what I'm
low.
saying.
That's the point.
I
what I'm
told
saying
you
is
that
very
people with COVID had
It's
nearly
okay.
16.
Hang on, stop. It's okay for you to make the request that you don't want an ad hom used in this particular case. You think that anti-vaxxers and ad hom, so I would request, Hunter, that you don't refer to RPG that way. However, RPG, if you are going to request information from Hunter that he may not have directly on hand, you've got to give him some time to pull that information
Well, I
up.
sent it to him. He can look it up himself, because a lot of the times with these conversations, what ends up happening is you just play 20 questions. You're like, "Well, what's the exact number of this? What's this? Oh, you don't know?"
Because it
Wrong,
matters.
huh?
It
Well, then why don't
matters.
you go look it up? Why are you coming to a debate so?
Because you're the one
unprepared?
making
You're
the
just asking me a bunch of the
claim.
fucking
Let's get back
questions.
to the formation of the position. RPG, can you summarize your position on this so that Hunter can respond to it and we can discuss the discourse from there?
Sure. Okay. So my original question to Hunter is, if the vaccines are not effective, if they cannot stop transmission, which they cannot do because the efficacy drops rapidly. After just 6 months, the efficacy is as low as 20%. And I even have a report here that shows it drops all the way to 0. And in some cases, it drops into the negatives. That's why.
What?
That's
All right.
and I'll,
yeah, this is
I'll
obviously
explain
we're not
why.
getting-
I
this
will
is obviously why
explain.
we're not getting
I
the,
will I will explain why. If you let me speak, I'll explain why. The reason why they're because they're not exactly sure, but what they are predicting is that people who are vaccinated, they believe, because they've been brainwashed and lied to, they believe that they're immune. So they're engaged in behaviors and activities that an immune person might engage in because they were promised to return to normalcy. Get vaccinated and your life will return back to normal. So they're engaged in these behaviors and they're actually spreading the virus more than the unvaccinated are. That's what's going on right now. There's a study out of Israel I could send you. There's a study out of Qatar I could send you where they said within 5 to 8 months, I have it right here, the efficacy drops to as low as 20%.
Well, first of all, with the efficacy rates, like the efficacy rates can vary, sure, but again, this is how any vaccine works. This doesn't mean that
You're
should-
wrong about that.
That's
You're
not
wrong,
true.
man.
You get boosters.
You
for
are
the flu.
wrong.
Do you get boosters for the flu every year?
1 second. This is Radix Verum. She's coming on to actually assist me with moderation in this debate. I requested that she did because I thought that you guys might be a bit of a handful on this one. So, and it turns out I was right. Radix, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
No problem.
She'll be keeping notes as we go, and again, we're gonna let the free flow go right back into it. Go ahead.
Okay, so to my knowledge, when it comes to the flu vaccines, you're not necessarily getting a booster, but because the flu is this ever-changing virus, like it's not like you're not getting an annual shot every single year because your efficacy from the previous year dropped from 90 to 0,
No,
and you need to
that's-
boost it.
So I don't know what the exact efficacy drops with the flu thing or whatever, but like
I can tell you, it's 5 to 10% each year,
Okay, well, every vaccine.
and that's most
can-
vaccines, by the way.
Every vaccine can wane in efficacy. It also is dependent, like you just.
But this
brought
one
up,
really wanes.
So what? That doesn't mean.
So
that
it's not effective. How can you say it's
No,
effective
wait,
if the
stop.
efficacy wanes?
Stop.
That's the
Stop.
point.
You're not.
I'll
You're
stop.
missing the point of this entirely. So anytime you take a vaccine, the efficacy that wanes could be like it could be all over the place, sure. However, I can send you a list here from healthline.com where they talk about various different studies that tested the efficacy rates, and they found that when it came against the Delta variant, it could be somewhere lower, around, yes, 32% or so, or as high as 90%. So the fact
It
that
starts off at 90 and then it drops rapidly after 2 months, and then within 5 to 8 months it drops to 20%. This is confirmed. This is objectively true. I know you love science.
Confirmed. I don't know where
it is
where
confirmed.
No.
I'll
I don't
send
know
you the
where
study
you
right
saw
now.
the
Here it comes. Get ready
the
for it.
negative 20% thing. Maybe it's like a pre.
Get ready for it. It's coming right now.
Either way, just if it wanes.
Oh, either way. So you're saying wait. So you're saying it might be true then?
I'm saying
Here,
regardless
I'll
of what
drop
you're
it in the chat.
I'm saying regardless of what you're saying, it doesn't change the fact that taking the vaccine is absolutely going to be beneficial, even if the efficacy, let's say hypothetically that the efficacy really did wane back, like from
it's not a hypothetical. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but it isn't a hypothetical. These are the facts.
It does, like, in order
don't say even if it does.
You gotta let them respond, RPG.
To
you have
stop
to let them
this
respond.
virus, everybody needs to be vaccinated with herd immunity. And even if if it wanes or whatever the fuck you
Stop
want me
saying
to say,
if it does.
At whatever
Science says it does.
At whatever degree it wanes, it does not matter, because in order to stop this thing right off the bat, when everybody is vaccinated, we can kill the virus arguably in 6 to 8 months. By stopping the ability of this virus to mutate, by stopping the ability of this virus to jump from person to person and straining our hospital resources, this will absolutely benefit everyone. And it doesn't matter if the efficacy drops in 8 months. Any immunity, if you get natural immunity, that drops in 60 days. If you get
No, it doesn't. That's bullshit. Natural. You said you were presented this. You were presented with this yourself when you debated Rob Noor. He referred to the study from Israel that shows that natural immunity is both stronger and longer lasting. And now you're going to act like, oh, I never heard that one before.
No,
you acknowledged it in your debate with him.
Because if there's one study that says that, that's cool. But
there's here we go. This
evidence.
is why you can't debate these people, because it's just one study.
He
reviewed. I don't care.
Okay, are you gonna let me respond?
You know you're wrong, man. Come on, really? You think that?
No.
You think that the vaccine?
Yeah, dude. You can look at the CDC data on this. You realize that people.
The CDC is telling people that the vaccines don't work.
Where do they say that? Could you tell me?
Rochelle Walensky said the vaccines cannot stop transmission. That's the problem we're facing right now.
They said you're lying through.
That is what I'll send you the video right now. Here it comes.
You said you were talking about a statement.
Yeah, a statement put out by the head of the CDC.
Who is it? Rochelle Walensky?
Yes. Does she not represent the CDC anymore? Or are you going to say,
Today,
her?
Some of those data were published.
I have a video here. I don't know if BPF's going to be playing videos here, but it's a short.
No. I don't need to see the video. I'm reading the thing.
I'm sure you don't want to see the video because it proves my point.
I'm reading the statement right now, buddy. Calm down, all right?
I'm quoting her. Cannot stop transmission. Verbatim quote. And it's not just her, by the way.
High viral loads.
Well, why don't you link it to me, RPG?
Maybe the video is different than the published statement. I would have assumed.
It's in the private chat on StreamYard.
Is it this Twitter?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
okay. Give me just a second. You guys can keep going. I'll get this pulled up.
Sure, and I have another article here from The Hill. It says vaccinated just as likely to spread Delta within households as unvaccinated. So there's plenty of research on this. And the thing is, what's happening is they approved the vaccines with incomplete data. They only had like a month or two of clinical trial data. And with that data, the efficacy was still high. So they said, you know what, it's still 80, 90%.
When I listen to this. Why can I not? Oh, because I muted my testimony. Hold on.
To work well for our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission.
This was exactly. Wait, this. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So, yes, the vaccines are.
Wait, let him play the video for the audience. Can you play the video for the audience? It's a very short video.
I just played the video.
Yeah.
But
I just played the video on my thing.
Yeah, I wasn't actually able to play it. There was some type
It's
of
fine.
audio
She
issue
said the
between
same thing that
drifters.
we already knew, which was that it's not good at stopping transmission with the Delta variant. Again, you said, wait, you
What's
brought...
the variant?
Oh
What's
my
the
God.
dominant
Hey,
variant
BPF,
right
am I
now?
allowed to finish a sentence?
You
What's the
are, so
dominant
you gotta let
variant?
him
You're
So
such
you
a
brought up with the-
weasel.
So
right, but
you're
you've gotta
such a
let him,
weasel.
whether you
You-
think that or not, you've still got to let him respond
Holy
to what
shit,
you're
man.
saying.
This guy is
It's
fucking
important.
raging over here. Yeah.
You can respond, Hunter. Go ahead.
It, I honestly lost my train of thought here, Andrew.
You're
You
a
gotta help
weasel.
me
You're
out.
trying to
what you
weasel
guys
out of
are-
the point.
What you guys are stuck on right now is you're stuck on the efficacy due to the Delta variant. So what RPG's overriding point is the variant right now, which we're mostly dealing with, and I'm just summarizing this for him, is the Delta variant. And so
Right.
therefore, since it's the Delta variant, if she's saying that, hey, this isn't actually stopping the virus, then that seems to be what his overarching point is. If you want to
Right.
respond to
I would
that.
also like to also interject that I could please request not to be called very hurtful slurs such as weasel. I find that very offensive.
Yeah, I think
That's
if
not a
it-
slur. That's what you are.
if it, but you asked that ad
Well, what you
hominem
are is an
comment you
anti-vaxxer,
didn't
and I'm
like.
not allowed to say that here. So
Yeah, no, if he's
Not
not
true.
allowed to say it,
You're
I think
lying.
it's
That's the
fair.
difference.
So
think it's
what
fair.
the CDC director said is that, oh, right. Now I remember what I was going to say. So you brought up the flu thing, which you said, well, yeah, we get boosters because there's new mutations. Well, now we need boosters because there's a Delta variant. When we're dealing with a pandemic, we're also dealing with something that mutates quicker. And again, the mutation is able to happen faster because of unvaccinated people. I already read you the
That's
quote
not true.
from the professor.
That's not true. You said
Just
you
keep
don't
saying
know.
It, keep
You
saying
said
it. I know.
you
There's no
said you
place like
don't
home.
know.
Say it 3 times and it'll happen.
You said you don't
But
know. You admitted it already.
Let him finish his point, RPG.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
It's just that what the CDC director said ultimately was that the vaccine is good at stopping hospitalization and death with the Delta variant, which is massively important when we're talking about straining our hospital resources. Okay, so that is crucial. And then she said that the vaccine cannot stop transmission of the Delta variant. Again,
which is
this
the
why-
dominant variant right
which
now
is
and has
why
been
we
the
need
dominant variant in this
booster,
country
which is
for
why-
months.
Which is why we need the booster. Which is then what you're mad at that also. So like you're complaining
Wait, so then
about
can
the
you
problem
explain?
and
Can you
refusing
explain to me? Hold
contribute
on, wait.
to
I have
it.
a great question for you. Can you explain to me why the Delta variant is in every other country, including countries with extremely high rates of vaccination, like the United Kingdom and in Israel?
Yeah,
Can you
sure.
explain
wanna look
that
at the
one?
Sure. Yeah. Could you explain to me why the hospitalization and death rates are significantly lower, and why even though they had a greater outbreak, they didn't actually result in more hospitalizations and death? Which literally
You're
put less-
diverting. It's
no,
a different
I'm
point.
Not. That's
It's-
actually extremely
Yes.
crucial.
Okay. Now,
no,
now
it's
I
not.
have to
If we're
speak.
going to talk about,
I
the
have to speak
no, it's
now
not. If we're-
because you're deflecting.
Hang
You're
on,
making
Hunter,
a
you
different
gotta let him
point.
respond.
deflecting.
Hunter, you got to let him respond. Go ahead, RPG.
You're deflecting, okay? Because you are insinuating the reason why the Delta variant exists in the United States is because of those back alley, inbred redneck retards who don't want to get vaccinated. That's the point you're making right now. The response that I have for you, which you have no answer for, is that in the United Kingdom and in Israel, and I'm sure every other country where they are extremely highly vaccinated, the Delta variant, it's there as well. So the point you were making is false. Now, when it comes to hospitalizations and deaths, yes, the vaccine is effective in that way. So
Perfect. That's good. I'm glad we came to common ground there.
But there's one more point to make here. They're extremely effective, but the chances of falling severely ill or dying from COVID are infinitesimally small to begin with.
But there's where I think we're going to be able to find some common ground here. I'm glad that we're able to concede this. So let me write this down. So the vaccines are effective at preventing death. Now, hold on. I actually think we're going to make some ground here with this. So that is what's crucial. So it's important to remember that when vaccines are created, it's true that they do provide antibodies, which gives you a level of immunity, but this is not actually the main purpose. The main purpose of the vaccine, I'm not sure if this is all vaccines, but it's definitely with this one, is to actually prevent symptomatic and like outbreak, death, hospitalization, things along those lines. So again, you're right that you personally at your age, your risk of dying from COVID is probably significantly low. I don't think you should be like terrified that one day that you're going to suddenly drop dead of COVID-19. But if you are to get COVID, and again, we already know the Delta variant is more contagious. If you are to get COVID, even if you don't die, you can spread it to somebody that could absolutely not necessarily die, but go to the hospital, take up those resources. And since we're
Okay, but the vaccinated are doing that too, and they're doing it just as much, is
But
the
no,
point
so
that I'm establishing
it's
here.
not about just the spread. Again, it's about if you are to get, let's say hypothetically that you're vaccinated and then you're with someone else who's vaccinated. And then despite the fact that you're vaccinated, you get the Delta variant, then spread it to your friend who's vaccinated. Now, your friend who gets the Delta variant and you who have the Delta variant are far less likely to go to the hospital and take up those resources.
Okay, stop the resources thing. That's not like, just so you know, from my perspective, that's not a persuasive argument. So you can
Well,
keep
the
like
people
doing
that
the
are
resource
having,
thing.
That's fine, but the people that are having their surgeries rescheduled and the people that are being negatively infected, I think that would be a pretty impactful argument. So I think
Okay,
that's
well,
coming from
I'm
a
just
place
saying,
of
like,
privilege.
as far as this debate is concerned, I'm just letting you know, like, you keep like harping on the resources, the resources.
Well,
If you want to talk about the hospitalization rates, we could talk about how nearly half of COVID hospitalizations are actually not as they appear, because what's happening in nearly half of cases, this was proven, I have the link if you want to see it, is that people are going to the hospital for reasons other than COVID, and then they're getting tested for COVID, because that's the thing right now. So they're testing all these patients with the PCR tests, which are unreliable. They're inaccurate. The PCR technology inventor said this himself, and
You mean Robert
nearly
Malone?
half.
Or are you
If that's the
talking
guy,
about
I could find
Okay.
it. But if that's the guy,
I mean,
but
what
nearly
you're saying might be
half of
true, but, like,
hospitalizations are not actually due to severe COVID illness, and same thing with the deaths, by the way.
Well, yeah, because of course, in the entire population, it might not look like that from a statistical level. But when you actually look at it on like a state by state level, that's why I referenced that there were over 2,000 people in a hospital with over 600 people in ICU beds. Like, that might not sound that big, but that affects people in those communities when those resources are taken up. And you're right that there might be some like miscalculation with data here and there. I don't know the ins and outs of every single data collection thing. However, I can easily point you to the various different statistics from all over the world. I have some UK data I'd be happy to show you that literally shows that the hospitalization and the death rates of people with COVID are among those who are unvaccinated. Like, this is an objective truth.
That's
This
true.
is a
Yes,
fact.
that is true.
So that right there, though, like, that is a compelling reason to get the vaccine. And I know
For me,
well, I know that you say that it's not compelling to you, but try to think outside of your own purview for a minute. Hospital resources, and when those are
can we stop? Vaccines
No,
don't stop transmission.
it's not
How many
about
times do I have to say this? It is
Huh?
about transmission, because if I'm healthy, okay, look, it is about transmission, because 90% of people that are hospitalized with COVID have comorbidities. They're overweight, they're obese, or they have chronic lung failure. Okay,
they
so
have
this is not. This
diabetes.
is. Can
People
I
can
finish?
have-
It's not a. Can I finish? This is diabetes, and who has diabetes? Fat people or thin ones?
So what's your solution? What's the point of bringing that up?
Is if you are at risk, if you are in an at-risk category, and the vaccines are proven to lower hospitalizations and lower the mortality rate, then those are the people that, if they want to take that chance, they should get vaccinated. But me, my odds are really, really good. I have all the numbers here. My odds
I don't
are
care, though. You're not hearing what I'm saying.
I care.
I know.
I
but,
care.
But the thing is that the reason you keep going back to the transmission thing, I think, is because you realize you're kind of falling off your dialogue.
No,
and you don't like
no,
it. So
because right now,
when we're-
tens of millions of Americans are being forced against their will, even though they don't
not
need
die
the
from
vaccine, even
COVID.
though
Oh,
they've been
no.
previously infected. Tens of millions, they are being forced against
Wait,
their
you
will
want to
because
talk
they're
about the
going to.
efficacy waning? I can literally show you the CDC data, which found that after 60 days, antibodies decreased. Not entirely; they weren't entirely gone, but they began to wane.
That's
after
when they
60
begin
days.
to decrease.
No! You're being bad faith now and lying again, because you came on here and you tried to attack me for bringing up. Or you tried to attack the vaccine for saying it loses efficacy in 6 months. The natural immunity can lose efficacy within 60 days, or at least begin to wane after 60 days.
That doesn't mean anything. It could go
Yes,
from
it
99
does.
to 98. That doesn't mean anything. You need to know precisely where it starts and where it falls to.
Also,
and
another-
it's been done. The research has been done. You saw it yourself.
There's another really good point to bring up here too, which is that a third of
Everything you say
individuals-
is wrong.
And there's also a third of individuals that get COVID don't even go on to develop those antibodies. Lastly, if you do have natural immunity,
I don't know if that's true.
This is not this is not a dichotomy. This isn't natural immunity versus the vaccine. It is natural immunity and the vaccine. That only gives you stronger immunity.
No, you know
This
that's
gives you-
bullshit too.
No,
I watched
don't.
your debate.
This
I watched your debate
absolutely-
with Rob. You know that point's bullshit.
No,
Why are you making
I
it
don't know
again?
it's bullshit at all. I have
Yes,
literally
you
so-
do
No,
because
I
you know
don't,
the
because I have
difference.
sources
You
that
know the
say that,
difference
and I have-
is marginal. You
No.
acknowledged it.
No, I'm not acknowledging it. No.
You
I
did
have
then.
the evidence. I have the evidence right in
The
front of me.
difference
my
is
dude. You want me to send
marginal.
it to
True
you?
or
Like,
false? The difference is marginal. True or false? The difference is marginal.
I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a
You
little bit more
acknowledge.
information on
Okay,
this.
everybody, go watch that replay. Not right
Okay,
now,
yeah,
but
I guess. Do you want to talk about my other debate with someone else? I'm
the
sorry, I don't
difference is
have that debate in
marginal,
front of me.
which
Is
you
this how desperate
acknowledged,
you
and
are to
now
get off
you're.
this subject?
Hang on. It is fair in a debate to bring up what you may have previously stated. So
I would have to go back and look at the debate, dude. Like I have
not asking you to acknowledge it. I'm just saying that it's fair game to bring it up. That's all I'm
You
saying.
should remember roughly if it's marginal or if it's substantial. Do you remember that at least?
Which part is marginal?
So if you get vaccinated and you have natural immunity, you're saying that your immunities are even stronger. But the point that I'm making is the difference between natural immunity by itself compared to natural immunity plus vaccinated immunity, I think it was like 0.1 or 0.0. Like it was nothing. It was basically nothing. So what you're doing here is dishonest, and you've acknowledged this yourself already. So I don't know why what you're trying to accomplish here, but
let me pull this up.
I don't know what you're looking for right now either.
I'm getting my.
Are you looking for your stream replay?
No, I'm looking for my document here that talks about this. About natural immunity.
Okay, well, I am at no risk of being hospitalized or dying from
But you're-
COVID-19.
but you
And can I finish? And the vaccines cannot stop transmission.
Yeah,
So
I mean-
why should I, as a young, healthy person, when I can't protect other
He just,
people,
like,
I
goes
can't
from
do
One
that.
point to one point, doesn't give me time to respond, and then just like you said, you
No,
want me to look it up.
because
so I'm
you're
trying-
wrong on this, and you're just wasting time. Oh, you need to look for my document. You know what you
I'm
said.
not
You know the difference is marginal.
All right, here we go. Here's the natural immunity.
We don't have all night to debate, so I'd rather get to the next point.
Holy shit! Are you all right, dude?
You've
Do you
got to
wanna
let
talk?
him respond, though. You got to let
She'll
him
text
respond.
you back, bro. Calm down. So, from Nebraska Medicine, more than a third of COVID-19 infections result in zero protective antibodies. Natural immunity fades faster than vaccine immunity. So, natural immunity, let's see, a third of infections don't get protective antibodies. Some people who get COVID receive no protection from reinfection. Their natural immunity is non-existent. A recent study found that 36%.
Bro, you're just reading the article. You should have this shit ready
Let
to
him
go in
finish,
advance.
RPG.
You just read-
You've had,
I
you've
have
had
my
a
whole
long,
document
a long
here with
chance
all my
to
notes here,
talk.
bro.
You've got to let him respond. Go ahead.
So, I'm reading from the study directly, a recent
Are we
study
debating or reading
that fa-
articles?
So
Let
you-
him
you- okay, so
respond. It's fair game
I-
to use an article even to respond.
No, this is
Let him
like
respond.
incredibly bad faith to the point of you asking me a question and now I'm trying to like read from my notes and read you the direct answer, and now you're all of a sudden making fun of me for reading from an article. Are you really this desperate? So I'm gonna actually step back from this for a second and go. Back
I'm
to
sure
what-
you are. I'm sure you are going to step back from it.
So it
That'd
says
be wise
a
of
recent,
you.
It says a recent study found that 36% of COVID-19 cases didn't result in development of COV antibodies. Natural immunity fades more quickly. Natural immunity can decay within about 90 days. Natural immunity alone is weak. One study compared natural
Decays
immunity
from
alone
what
to
to
natural
what?
immunity plus vaccination. They found that after infection, unvaccinated people are 2.34 times likelier to get COVID-19 again.
Oh
compared
my
to
God.
fully
Okay.
vaccinated
Okay. You can
people.
read. Good job, man. Good job. Like this is let's just.
I know,
I
it hurts to
understand
hear
we
the
need to
facts, but
reference
it's
our
okay.
sources sometimes, but you're just going through the entire article
No,
here.
this is from CDC.gov.
Hang
I'll
on,
be happy to-
hang on, stop. Red Pill, I actually had to mute you. I do understand that interrupting from time to time is a legitimate debate tactic, but you do need to allow Hunter to respond to your points, even if all he's going to do to respond to the point, if you don't agree with it, it doesn't matter. You still have got to let him respond. I'm going to unmute you now. Go ahead, Hunter.
All right. Well, I'm fine. I just wanted to read the exact thing where it says that from May to June was compared with other residents. In this case, control study being unvaccinated was associated with 2.34 times the odds of reinfection compared with being fully vaccinated. And these were people that already had the natural antibodies. So
That's bullshit.
So that's just what I wanted to say for that part. And then now what you keep alluding to is I'm not at risk of dying. I'm not going to die. I'm fine. You're ignoring completely what I'm saying, which is I don't care if you're fine. The fact is that if you get COVID and then you spread it to someone else, which with the Delta variant that is extremely likely, that will lead to a strain of hospital resources. I'm going to keep on going back to it because you don't want to talk about it, but that is a real and practical negative effect that the unvaccinated are having on everyone. And as a father, as someone who has kids, I can tell you right now that if my kid falls off her bike and she needs to fucking go to the hospital and it's taken up by a bunch of unvaxxed dipshits that are too scared to get vaccinated because they listen to you, then I'm going to be really fucking mad. So this is a practical way that this hurts everybody, but you want to skim past this, keep saying, well, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. I'm not going to die. I'm not. Okay, maybe you won't die. And hopefully not. That would be pretty fucking sad. But it's not about if you die. It's about the strain that you put on everyone else. So I have something here about how it's costing
Can I, at any point, can I respond?
Yeah, go for it, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying it's not about you, it's about other people. I don't know how, am I talking to a wall here? I don't know how many times I need to say it, but the vaccines are not stopping transmission. Earth to Hunter Avalone, they're not stopping transmission.
That's not the point.
That is the entire
No, it's
point.
not.
Look, if me getting vaccinated or not getting vaccinated is the same thing as far as transmission is concerned, then why should I get vaccinated?
Because
Also,
if
the second
you
point I
get-
want to make here, and then I'll let you respond.
Okay.
The second point is you say that I'm scared of vaccines. You're scared of COVID. And you know what the difference between those two things are? The
One has
difference is
long-term effects.
we don't know what the long-term effects of the vaccines
Yeah,
are.
we
We
do.
don't know what the short. No, we don't.
Yeah,
How
we do.
could we know? How could we possibly
Because
know?
virtually
The
every
vaccines
negative
were-
effect
the
from
vaccines
vaccines
were
show themselves
approved-
within like
The vaccines
2
were
months the
approved on
latest.
limited data in the first place, which is why we're having this
That's not
booster
true. There were-
disaster right
no,
now.
No, that's not. It's
It
not
is
a booster
true.
disaster. It
Well,
was
you
not
had 2
limited data.
points.
It went through
Let him
all
respond
proper
to both
precautions.
points. Let him respond to both points. Go ahead, Hunter.
Oh, it was my turn. Yeah. So you keep on again. We're kind of looping around and around because you keep saying the transmission thing. Let me explain this to you. Hypothetically speaking, let's say this, okay? Let's say that it doesn't stop transmission at all. Now,
Doesn't.
It does give you antibodies, which helps to prevent you from getting COVID in the first place, which of course reduces
That's
transmission.
not true.
'Cause- Yes, it
That's
does.
false.
So you cannot
It's
transmit
false. I've
the
established that
So-
already.
no, you did.
The CDC, you're disagreeing right now with the. Hold on a second. Hold on, Hunter. Why are you spreading disinformation? Get this. You're killing people. How many people just died because of what you? Get this guy off the internet.
Wait, I don't care about
This
other
guy
people.
needs to
Why
lose
should
his
I?
YouTube. You're killing people with your vaccine misinformation. What you're saying is provably false. That you're disagreeing with the CDC director. You're disagreeing with the experts.
So let me give you a good.
Are you out of your
example here what
mind?
So let me give you a good example here of like it's funny because you try to like get a rhetorical win that by being like Hunter's killing people when again it's your
You are killing
ideology.
people.
It's
You're
your
wrong.
it's your ideology that
Numbers,
is actually
science,
leading to
data.
people that are. It's your ideology that is actually leading to negative impacts for every.
My
American.
ideology is the same
So
as the
here's an
CDC.
analysis from HHS and CDC data, which indicated that there were 32,000 preventable COVID-19 hospitalizations in June and another 187,000 preventable COVID hospitalizations among unvaccinated adults in the U.S. in August. Okay? Over 100,000 preventable people. They didn't need to be in the hospital. They didn't need to be taking up a hospital bed. They didn't need to be on an ICU. They could have been home with their family with COVID, sweating it out for a day or two, and thank goodness they got vaccinated because the vaccine is helping them, preventing them from actually dying. So the fact, again, that you would virtue signal about Hunter's killing people, LOLOL.
That's not a virtue
meanwhile,
signal.
Again, your ideology is what's doing that.
No, because the vaccines aren't stopping the spread. I don't know how many times I need to repeat myself.
It's because you're an NPC. I don't think you know how to not defer back to your. I've already addressed your fucking transmission.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
you completely
I
failed
did.
to. Because
I
my question
explained
to you
that
is
even if
why. Okay, I don't
explained
know.
that
I don't
it's
want to say it
irrelevant.
anymore. I've
I
said it so many
explained-
times.
No, because I've already explained that it's-
Directly ask the question. Let him directly respond without interrupting, and then we can determine through our notes what's going on here. Go ahead, RPG.
Well, the problem that we're facing right here is that I'm stating, like the CDC director and everybody else right now, the entire scientific community is stating the vaccines are not stopping the transmission of the Delta variant. With that being the case, what is the argument for Red Pill Gaming to get vaccinated? And he just keeps going off on this hospitals thing, which I agreed with him on, the deaths thing, which I agreed with him on.
But you don't
so
realize how you
this is
play
the
a role
problem
there.
is you keep, excuse me?
You don't realize how you play a role there. So again, I already said, let's say for the sake of argument that the vaccine does not stop transmission at all. Okay.
It doesn't.
So-
Stop saying, can we establish this? I
No,
mean, I don't want to
because it
involve the
builds up-
moderator here, but can we establish like what the
No.
scientific
No, because
facts
it did-
are?
no,
It's not
because-
hypothetical.
That's the determination for you guys to argue over. It's not our determination.
The
to
No,
make.
you're right. But it's
protein
just like this is
literally
the entire. We're just going to go back and forth for 2 hours here talking about it
no,
does stop
it's-
transmission. It doesn't. It does. It doesn't.
This is what the vaccine does. Is it is spike protein that put that
I
goes
know
in-
how it works.
Yes,
I
and
know
that
your
gives
chances
you
of
the-
dying are lower. Your
that
chances of
gives you
hospitalization is
antibodies.
lower.
That gives you antibodies, which does prevent you, gives you a layer of protection from getting the virus. But again, even if you are to get the virus, so let's say that you are not vaccinated.
I
So
know
you're-
this stuff already.
But this is the response to your transmission thing.
no,
Do we just
it isn't. It isn't. You're saying it's the response, and then you're
well,
not
I'm not going to be able to.
responding.
The thing is I'm not going to be able to convince you on anything because
It's
you're
not-
living your life in denial. So
You're
first
not
and
a
fo-
logical.
No,
what you're
so first
saying
and foremost-
is not logically following. It's all non sequiturs. You're
I'm
not
trying to
responding. You're
explain to you
saying you're
why-
responding without responding.
Okay, so let me explain again. The
Oh,
transmission point you bring up, it whether or not I concede on that is irrelevant. And this
It is not
this
irrelevant.
Is why it's irrelevant is because if you are unvaccinated, you are more likely to get the virus. Right? Do you agree with that?
Am I more likely to get the virus? It depends when I got. If I'm unvaccinated.
Yes. If you're unvaccinated, you're more likely to get the virus and you're more likely to go to the hospital with that virus. Right?
Initially, yes. Initially, yes.
Even hypothetically, you're more likely to spread the Delta variant to other people also, especially since we know people can still get the Delta variant even if they're vaccinated. Now, when you do that, right, whether the vaccine stops transmission or not is irrelevant because the important thing is whether or not you actually need to go to the hospital. Because this is where I keep on deferring back to the hospital resources because again, we live in a world where we have limited resources. So we don't have infinite money, we don't have infinite resources that we can throw at this. When hospitals are strained, we all suffer. And like I already read, when there
How do I suffer?
When there are hundreds of, again, it's not just you. I don't know how
It is.
No, it's not. It's about
Yes,
how,
it is.
It's about how Americans are
Me
suffering
getting
across-
vaccinated doesn't protect other people because I can't stop the spread of COVID when I get vaccinated. I can't
But it
say
will
it
prevent
anymore.
you from going to the hospital, which would negatively.
I'm not going to the hospital.
If you were to get COVID, you have a higher likelihood of going to the hospital, as do those who are unvaccinated. And so
Yeah,
when
like a
they
higher
go to the
likelihood,
hospital,
but you're
they
starting
take
from
up resources,
you're
and this
starting
hurts
with an
Americans.
extreme.
This
You're
is-
you're
no, no, no,
starting.
this is
with an-
pathetic. This
no,
is-
don't cut me off because I'm making a good point here. The point
You
that I'm
can
making
finish,
is you're saying you're more likely than zero. Yeah, I mean there is some technical
I'm trying to
difference,
just
but once again the difference is marginal. It's infinitesimally small, and for that reason, I'm not going to get vaccinated. You want to talk about, oh, you're afraid of the vaccine? Yeah, you know why? Because I'm afraid of the unknown. Unlike you, you're afraid of the known.
Well,
we
no, this
know
is
what the
this
we
is
know
what
what the
you
numbers
do
are.
is you hold on to the unknown because everything that we do know shows that this vaccine is safe and effective and is preventing people from dying in the
You
hospital.
don't know that
You
it's
conceded
safe.
That it
You
is
don't know
protecting
that.
people from dying in the hospital. Second
You
of
don't
all,
know that it's
I
safe.
do
You
know
don't,
it's
and it's
safe
not
because-
effective.
Second of all, I do know that it's safe because one, mRNA vaccines have been being used since 2011, although they haven't.
Oh really?
Been full,
Oh
yes.
really? They've seen
Yes.
widespread
Yes.
distribution since
Not
2011.
widespread. Hold on.
Oh,
They-
okay.
they-
So you're wrong. So you're just saying that.
Are you serious right now, my dude?
I'm serious, yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit. I didn't say that they were widespread use. I said that
We're
they've been
beta
being-
testing it
I said
on-
that they've
on
been
the
being
population
tested
right
on
now.
humans for a long time, for 10 plus years at max. So we
Really?
would
They've
know-
been
yeah,
actively
so we would
testing
know
it every
by
single
now
day
if there
for
were
10 plus
negative-
years,
so
or
we
do they
would
do
know
a
by-
couple of
so we-
studies here and there?
So we would know by now if there were negative effects because we've been again
Would we?
trying to yes, we've used mRNA vaccination technology on people with cancer treatments. We've used it to treat people with rabies and some aspects, and now it's fully FDA approved. It went through
Which doesn't
all
mean
of-
shit.
Yes, it does. It went through all
No, it
of the-
doesn't.
yes,
Because
it
you know
does.
what
It
else
went
is
through-
FDA approved?
It went from
Opioids,
it went
painkillers, and how did that
through
work out for
all
this
the
country?
necessary
How'd that work out?
procedures. Second of
How'd
all,
that work out?
the largest trial 3 phase from the FDA is actually, it includes 40,000 people, and it's still ongoing. Even
Over how
now,
much time? It can't be a year. It was just developed. You don't have
That's
long-term
not
data. It is
true. So
physically impossible
vaccine, let's
for
see.
you to have
It
long-term
began in
data. It's a physical
July.
impossibility.
Let's see.
And when it comes to the FDA, I have a JAMA study here.
So
FDA conceals serious research misconduct, fraud, deception,
I don't
and
care
even
about any
death.
of this.
Yep.
Just if the FDA is
Well, you should, because if we're supposed to listen to the FDA,
just if
the FDA approves it, then it's good to go.
We're talking way over each other.
Because
Nobody
this guy
in the
is like
audience.
super bad faith and lying about everything. So just because the FDA has had scandals in the fucking past does not mean that you can disregard everything they say. For example, the White House has had scandals in the past. Doesn't mean if we get a press
Oh, that's a
report-
great example.
It doesn't
That's
mean
totally
how
the same thing.
It doesn't mean if we get a press report about how, hey, there might be a risk of nuclear missiles or something, that we're not going to take it seriously, okay? When it comes to the FDA approval process, everything was done properly. It went through all the necessary animal trials and
How do you
human
know
trials.
that? You don't know
You can
that.
read
You have
about the
no idea.
process.
You could
This
read
is what's
about
so-
it. Okay, in the corporate
This is
press,
so
in the
embarrassing
Pfizer-sponsored press.
Oh my
in the
God,
Pfi-
it is so
In the
embarrassing.
Pfizer-sponsored
I'm
press, you can read
I'm-
about it. Are you
I'm-
that stupid? You're
I'm
really
actually-
you're really
I'm
that
actually
malleable. You're that
embarrassed
easy
for
to
you.
control.
It's like
I'm
you
embarrassed
say-
for you.
well,
You're a
you s-
corporate
it's-
slave.
it's
You're a
beca-
corporate bootlicker.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
It's that you
Stop.
say that you're. It says that you say that you're. Rosie, I need you to close the door.
Look, stop.
Close
you
the door,
guys are
please, Ross.
talking way past each other. We've turned this more into an insult fest than anything.
Well,
I
it's
don't
funny
feel like
because
we're
it
making
began
much.
with me not being allowed to say anti-vaxxer, and now this guy's literally been calling me names the entire time, lying about what I just said, and then yelling at me when I don't pull up the article with his exact number that he was too lazy to look up himself. So
You're
first
so
and
full of
foremost,
shit.
Hunter,
You're-
you've been cursing too, though. I mean,
we're allowed to swear on the Crucible.
Yeah.
He's been calling me names.
okay. Well, I just think it's
He's been making
Yeah.
we're gonna
personal
complain
attacks.
about insults.
Well, let's
Swearing's
just back.
not an insult.
Yeah, I mean, she's right. Let's just try to back it up a little bit. Okay, we've only got 10 minutes in this debate left before we get to the Q&A.
I don't
Maybe
want
we
to back
can
it
get.
up. This guy's being a fucking idiot right now. He's being dishonest. He's being bad faith, and he's lying to your audience, and he's lying to mine.
You're lying.
I don't
The
appreciate
vaccines
this.
cannot stop transmission. That's a quote
Keep
from
saying
Rochelle
it.
Walensky.
Keep saying it, NPC. Keep saying it. It's
Medical
literally hilarious. It's
misinformation.
just- it
Take-
can't
take
stop
this guy off the
transmission.
internet
It can't
right
stop
now.
Transmission. It can't stop transmission.
Ban
It
this
can't-
guy.
Say it again. There's no place like
This guy
home.
should be
There's no
homeless.
place
This guy
like
should be
home.
starving. How dare you question the experts?
Have you considered
People
tapping
like
your
you.
shoes together 3 times?
Sorry.
You got.
Just you're living your life in a fucking fantasy, dude. I mean, at this point.
No,
it's like,
you are.
Yeah, I know.
You are.
It doesn't stop transmission. It doesn't stop
It
transmission.
doesn't.
It doesn't stop
You
transmission.
you still haven't disproved that.
Because I don't
You can't,
have
it's
to
impossible.
disprove it or
Yes, you
concede
do.
that. Because
Yes,
I already
you do.
explained why that point is actually
All right, let's move forward. How about this? Let's try this. We have
No,
10
no,
minutes
I'm
left.
not moving forward
Right now,
because you
tens of
keep
millions of
referring-
Americans are facing a vaccine mandate, and many of them do not need the vaccine for the very same reasons I've been explaining to you this entire time. So,
Well, they
what is your
do.
argument? What is your argument for people to get vaccinated when the vaccines do not stop transmission? And what about the people that have natural immunity? I mean, there's people right now who are about to lose their jobs, millions, tens of millions of people who are facing termination that have natural immunity, which is stronger and longer lasting than
Right.
vaccinated immunity.
Mhm.
So how could
Just keep saying
you
it again,
how could you
yes.
explain that?
So again, we know that for a third of people that even get COVID, they don't develop natural immunity, and we also know that natural immunity.
Do
is
we know
much
that?
more
I don't know if we know
unpredictable.
that.
We also know that
I don't know
natural
if we know
immunity
that.
doesn't actually last as long. We also know
That's
that, again,
bullshit,
it
and you
begins to
acknowledge
wane
it's
after
bullshit.
only
You're
Let him
60
finish,
days.
RPG.
So there's a lot to. Again, I'm not going to fall into this dichotomy.
Your
that
own
don't-
words?
I don't need to. Can I say a fucking thing?
You've got.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
you do have to let him.
honestly,
You
this
do
is
have
a
to let him
point-
finish.
this is a
You have
pointless
to-
discussion.
You have to let him finish.
I
Let him
keep
finish.
trying to defer back to. So if these people have natural immunity or whatnot, again, I'm not going to fall into a dichotomy that doesn't need to be there. It is not natural immunity versus the vaccine. Now, for the people that don't want to get the vaccine, I would have to ask, well, what is their reason for that? First of all, it's safe. It's effective. We can look at the international rates of people that are literally in the hospital. The hospitalization rates with people with COVID spiking. The hospitalization rates among the unvaccinated spiking. Vaccinated, we're living the good life, okay? We're not going to the hospital.
Oh, am I.
So again, I keep on deferring back that your transmission argument, I can ignore it for the rest of this thing because it's irrelevant.
You can't. That's why you lost.
Even if
you can't get past it.
No, because
that's why you lose. That's why I will never get vaccinated. Because you can't make the argument. It's impossible.
The transmission rates change. What matters is the hospital resources. That's what actually affects
it makes
all
no
of
sense
us
at all.
Americans.
I have no effect on the hospital resources.
You do, because if you don't get vaccinated and you get the virus and then you spread it to someone else who might be more susceptible.
It doesn't make a difference if I get vaccinated.
It does,
that's the
because
fucking
you
point.
Won't take up a hospital bed, and you also are less
it's
likely
not
to
gonna
get it in
happen.
the first place. And if you're
it's
less
not
likely
going
to
to
get it in the
happen.
first place, that also
90%
means you're
of those
less likely to actually
hospitalized
spread it to
have
people.
comorbidities. 90%, not 30, not 50.
Comorbidities, it doesn't matter.
90%.
People have underlying conditions that can cause like negative effects all the time. But again, it doesn't matter. Like
it does matter.
It does, because these people with comorbidities, they too don't want to go to the hospital. So even if it doesn't,
maybe they shouldn't be fat then.
So even if it doesn't, right?
COVID is basically
just stop being fat. That's this guy's solution. It's hilarious.
It is about
oh
being
God.
fat, actually, because 80% of hospitalizations and deaths are from the morbidly obese. So what this actually is this is AIDS for fat people. That's what COVID is. That's the discussion we should be having. That's what it is. CDC data.
So
80%
this is the lazy
obese,
cop-out
overweight.
response, which is let's just blame the fat people. When what's the more realistic solution? Getting
People that are unhealthy are dying. That's the moral of the story.
Vaccinated so that they don't actually end up going to the hospital and dying, or saying, "Hey, fatties, get on the treadmill and cut back the Krispy Kreme."
Yes.
Now maybe that's good advice
Yes.
for some people, sure, but
That's
that is
great
not,
advice for every
but that
fat
is
person.
absolutely not a solution to COVID-19.
It is. It's a
when it
great
comes to the
solution.
vaccination thing. No, it's
But
not.
we can't
It's
have that discussion.
unrealistic,
Instead, oh,
and it's
big
a
is
virtue
beautiful. Oh, the
signal.
fatter
And
you are, the prettier, the sexier
like
you are. You're
just
killing
like-
people.
Just like your talk this entire time, this is a virtue signal. This is so that you can blame someone else and say, fat people just stop doing it. That's unrealistic, and you know that.
It's killing
It's far more
irresponsible,
realistic
unhealthy
to get
people. It's not killing
vaccinated
me.
So that people don't end up in
It's
the
not killing
hospital,
me. It's
which
killing.
you
It's killing
already conceded
people
on
that are
this.
irresponsible. People that make poor life decisions. I know you like those
Okay,
kind of
we've got-
people.
We've got a ton of questions we've got to get to.
This guy came in.
We're
Damn.
going very, very circular. But
It's hard arguing with NPCs. I'm sorry.
I do want to
please.
give people a chance to. I want you guys to both get your closing statements in, and then we do have a ton of questions for you. RPG, go ahead with your closing statement.
I feel like we've been saying the same two sentences back and forth for the last hour or so, so nothing was accomplished. But I will once again reiterate that I understand, and I even conceded that the vaccines do, if you are in an at-risk category, they will cut down significantly severe illness and death. I have no problem admitting that because it's true. Based on the numbers, that is an absolute fact, okay? But what I'm also, based off the same numbers from the same source and from the same people, and it's coming out more and more as time goes on and the immunity wanes, I cannot, being vaccinated, I can still spread the virus to others, and that's what's happening. That's why there's no relationship at all in vaccine rates and case rates. That's why every other country with high vaccine rates, they're having the same problems right now. That's why they have the Delta variant. That's why they still have a lot of cases, because the vaccines are not stopping transmission. They're not stopping infection. And for that reason, I don't see whether I get vaccinated or not, it's not going to make a difference. And the other, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm not going to go on forever. The second point I wanted to kind of get to that we never did was, as far as the vaccine mandates go, what is the argument for telling somebody with natural immunity, which is stronger and longer lasting, why does that person have to lose their job when they have better immunity and protection to COVID than the vaccinated population. I would have liked to get into that a little bit more because that's completely illogical to me. And I think it's tyrannical and disgusting what the left is doing right now. But I'll just shut up because I've said enough. And I'll
Well,
let
I
Hunter
mean,
go.
your closing statement can be up to 5 minutes. So, I mean, if you want to take the time to explain
Okay.
whatever you want to, you can. It's okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, yes, like right now, there are tens of millions of people in America, all around the world, who have previous infection. And to say that, it doesn't matter if you've been working here for 20 years, it doesn't matter if the skills that you bring to the table, doesn't matter. Like none of it matters at all. If you don't take this vaccine against your will with unknown risks, then you lose your job and you're going to be homeless and you're going to be starving. This is what Noam Chomsky is saying, and leftists they're unanimously they're cheering. They're like, yeah, kill them. And that's really the bottom line here. Is this has nothing to do with the science, because as you all saw tonight, I presented the science to Hunter and he doesn't give a shit. This is an ideological. It goes beyond the virus. It's an ideological war that we're fighting here. And he's using COVID as a proxy to excise the people that he disagrees with from the society. You see them do this with social media. You see them, they're doing this in the schools. They're doing this in the workplace. They're doing it in the military. At the end of the day, this is just about purging people that go against corporate interests. When you're watching the media, you have to understand the media, big pharma, the politicians, they all have an incestuous relationship. Pfizer is the 6th most owned stock by Congress. Johnson & Johnson is the 7th most owned stock by Congress. When you're watching CNN, it'll say, oh, this medical segment was brought to you by Pfizer. This one was brought to you by Moderna. You have former FDA commissioners who are on the board for Pfizer now. You have former FDA commissioners. So that's the thing. These people, they're all in bed with each other. And I'm not saying COVID's not real, and I'm not saying the vaccine doesn't work at all, but you have to, the White House is even using tax dollars to pay influencers on social media. They're paying celebrities, they're paying musicians, they're paying TikTokers to shill for the vaccine. Like, what is going on here? Some people should get vaccinated, but if you're young and healthy, if you're a kid, that's insane. Children are not dying of COVID. They're not spreading it, and they want to vaccinate 5-year-olds now. So is my time up?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was right. It was right on the cusp. You're good.
Okay.
Hunter, you have 5 minutes to close.
Yeah, ultimately it just comes back to the same kind of thing, which is deferring to ignorance and the fear of the unknown. This idea that, well, we don't know the long-term spooky effects. We really do. mRNA vaccines have been being studied for a very long time. COVID-19 vaccines, for example, have been being researched for 50 plus years, and everything and all of this went through the necessary approval process with the FDA under emergency use and whatnot. Again, I've continuously tried to address this transmission thing, that you keep on bringing up the transmission thing, but you're missing the key part, which is that it's not just, well, I got the virus, so the vaccine doesn't work. It's where does that take you? What happens next? Do you go to the hospital? Do you get worse? Do you die? No. All of that is decreased because of the vaccine, and that ultimately benefits the entire country. And the problem is that when we have this conversation, you keep deferring back to, well, how does this benefit me personally? Me, the actual guy sitting right. If you want to have a personal discussion, then I would consider maybe taking it up with your therapist, but that's not what we're here to debate with. Well, I can
Not a leftist. Don't need those.
It's his closing statement. Don't interrupt in the closing statement.
I can tell you don't have a therapist, but if you want to actually look at this again, we can just look at the hospitalization rates among people with COVID, among the unvaccinated versus the vaccinated. These are the best stats to look at because, again, the vaccine, the main thing it is supposed to do is prevent you from having severe adverse effects. And by preventing that, you reduce the strain on hospital resources. And by preventing that strain, you benefit all of America. You benefit the economy. We've already seen how it's costing billions upon billions of dollars unvaccinated individuals are costing hospitals billions of dollars, and we already know that there are over 200,000 preventable hospitalizations due to COVID-19. These are individuals that could have been living their lives happy and healthy with their families, with their children, but no, instead they're in the hospital suffering, taking up valuable resources, forcing other people to have their surgeries and their needs pushed to the side simply because they don't want to get vaccinated because they're scared. Again, every time with any vaccine, the negative effects have shown themselves within 2 months maximum. The mRNA vaccine is actually, the mRNA spike protein only is in your system for a couple days at max, and your body then just discards it. The vaccine is like a payload. It goes in, it gives you the antibodies you need, gives you that boost you need, and that's it. Overall, though, it absolutely is benefiting the people that are vaccinated, like I keep deferring to, are not dying and they're not suffering in the hospital. And that is really the key thing there. It's not as, the transmission isn't as important. What happens is after you actually get the virus. So with that, I'm fine with moving into the Q&A.
So
You never responded to my argument.
This was closing statements. Was I supposed to respond to what he said in his closing
you
statement?
you didn't have to. He was saying you never responded to his argument before the closing statement, I think. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like this entire debate, you're making this totally tangential. Whatever. Let's just get to Q&A.
Tangential. I literally gave you empirical
I'm sorry.
evidence.
I know
say
we
what
have
you want,
time
buddy.
constraints. I mean, I'd love to see this go another hour, but we really do have time constraints for this. Radix, who came in to assist me as a moderator, has been diligently taking notes throughout this, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her for any questions she might have. Here at the Crucible, we do things a little differently. After the closing statements are done, moderators will often participate with our own notes to ask different debaters questions, and then we get to the audience Q&A. Go ahead, Radix.
Okay, so I have a couple notes here, and I think the first one would be for Hunter. Preventing transmission isn't that the only thing that a vaccine offers that would matter?
Absolutely not. No. So I know that RPG is going to push back against this, but the spike protein literally gives you antibodies and helps you build up a level of immunity, which does ultimately prevent you, or not prevent you, but it lowers your risk of actually getting the virus to begin with. But no, the transmission is not the only thing that matters at all. Again, it's if you are to get the virus, what happens next? You don't want to go to the hospital. Instead, you'll have a less severe case that goes away in a couple days. We've seen this even in other countries like Israel, for example, where they had everybody vaccinated and then the efficacy waned a little bit. And then we had the Delta variant and they had a spike of Delta variant cases. But if you look at it, they weren't going to the hospital. They weren't dying. There was an outbreak, but not a pandemic. So no, transmission is not the only thing.
You can respond, RPG.
I agree that transmission is not the only thing, but as far as this debate was concerned, the only question I wanted an answer to is, Hunter Avallone, why should I get vaccinated if getting vaccinated doesn't? And this is like, I feel like I'm like on acid right now. I feel like I'm tripping on acid right now because then you're saying, oh, the deaths. We're not talking. I'm just so frustrated right now. I don't want to keep repeating it over and over and over again. But his response, he's not responding to that question. He's continuing to not respond to that question.
Radix.
Okay, so another question. Does vaccine immunization prevent you from being a carrier?
Oh wait, who's that for?
For you, both of you can answer that.
I mean, just like any vaccine that gives you like a level of protection, it can lower your likelihood of being a carrier. But again, if you get the vaccine, if you are to get Delta and have like a breakthrough infection, yeah, you could still carry it. But I could be wrong here. I would need to look this up. Don't quote me on this directly, but I believe that the vaccinated, if they are to have a breakthrough infection, they're less likely to have as heavy a viral, a viral load. So I think that it can definitely continue to just reduce the risk of spreading COVID and catching it as well.
There's no difference in viral load, and this is why in countries with extremely high vaccination rates like Israel and the UK, they're seeing the same exact surges that we saw here in America, where the population is less vaccinated.
Okay, do either of you have statistics for the rate of myocarditis and pericarditis from vaccines?
I have one from COVID also. Let me see.
Okay, so I can go first. So one article I have here, it says teenage boys more at risk from vaccines than COVID. Young males are 6 times more likely to suffer heart problems after being jabbed than hospitalized from COVID. And if you want further evidence that it's true, Finland, Sweden, and Denmark all paused the Moderna vaccine for that reason.
Do you
Yet
know
here
what
in
else they
America,
said? I'm glad you brought that
What
up.
else
Do you know
did
what
they
else they
say?
said?
Can you drop that study for me, please?
I would
Yeah,
like to see
sure.
that study, yeah, but they dropped the Moderna one and then said go get the Pfizer vaccine. So that's not a very strong point for you, but yeah.
I would have to. I don't know. Do they offer the Pfizer vaccine in those countries? I don't know
Yes,
actually, but
they said that they said that you should go get the Pfizer.
well, there's
one
been
instead.
issues with Pfizer too. Okay, this article is about Moderna.
So why did you bring up the Moderna one?
Because there's issues with the mRNA vaccines and myocarditis, and it's not just Moderna; it's Pfizer too. I
Right,
don't have the source
so-
on me right this second, but you're not going to gaslight me. It's not just
not
Moderna; it's
gaslighting
all the
you.
vaccines. You are. You're trying to.
I'm reading from CNBC. Do you want me to send it to you? Like, this is the thing is, again,
Oh no
with
no no
someone
no!
living in
What no no? Which
denial,
I'm
it's
sorry.
really
What you
kinda
said no no.
challenging.
What you said was accurate. They did say for now get Pfizer instead. What I'm saying to you is the idea that Pfizer is the safe one and Moderna is the one, and also then why are we still approving Moderna here in America if it's does it work differently in Europe?
Sure. So I have right here from this is an Israeli study on myocarditis showing that the risk for it is very low. And I can just read you this little blurb here that I have in my notes. The risk of developing inflammation of the heart muscle after receiving the Pfizer vaccine is very low, according to 2 large studies from Israel. The studies indicate that teenage boys and young men are most at risk of developing the condition known as myocarditis. But even in this group, the vast majority of cases are mild and people recover quickly. In one study of more than 5 million people who received the vaccine, 136 developed myocarditis. So this risk is extremely low for myocarditis. And again, we also have CDC data, I'm going to keep deferring to that, which shows the significant increase of myocarditis, even in young people, if they are to get COVID as well. So this, again, is a cross-benefits analysis thing. It's much safer to just get the vaccine and get the Pfizer one if you don't want the Moderna one.
Okay, so first off, myocarditis is only one side effect. Like you realize there's like 100 other side effects. And they're all related to blood issues. They're all related to blood clotting. People are having seizures, heart attacks, aneurysms, strokes. So we're talking about, we're just like, it's kind of an unfair comparison to compare the safety of the vaccine to one of the side effects that you could potentially suffer from through an adverse reaction. So, and based on the numbers that I have here, you say that the vaccine is safer. That working off the VAERS data, which I will agree is weird, but it's the only thing I can work off of. Working off of that, there actually is no difference for someone like me in my age group with my health status. There's no difference between getting the vaccine or the protection the vaccine would offer me and the chance of suffering from an adverse reaction.
Okay, so I put a link in here into the chat. There are new figures out from the UK government that say basically the deaths of male children are 83% higher than the 5-year average since they have been given the COVID-19 vaccine. Obviously, correlation doesn't equal causation, but what would both of you say to that?
I would just have to dig into the studies more. I try to avoid like skimming new studies right here in the middle of a debate. It's not an effective way to actually like learn what it's saying. I would have to look at it. I don't know how those numbers were collected. I'm not really a professional data analyst, but actually my wife is. So I'd have to probably review some of that before I could really give an apt and appropriate response.
Okay, we'll go. Do you want to say something, Andrew?
Oh, I was just going to say RPG. Did you want to say anything to that?
I was only going to say that I've seen a lot of articles like this too that state that excess mortality is up across the board. Could it be because of the vaccines? We don't know. Never know. Someone like me, I would personally suspect that it absolutely could have something to do with it, but it's hearsay, so it's not an argument that I would put forward in a debate like this.
Yeah, this is also why I don't like to read through these here. It's like I'm just looking at one study which was linked, and it says it's not even been peer reviewed yet. So it's sort of like,
please.
you know, it's
That
like
matters.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But meanwhile, I have CDC data which you're trying to disregard. But it just
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for both of you guys. Hunter, you can go first. The vaccine doesn't confer T cells. Aren't T cells what give lasting immunity? So shouldn't that matter?
Sure, but I would have to, again, I'm not too familiar with T cells and whatnot. I just kind of know the general way that the vaccine works as far as introducing a spike protein, which is like a copy of a strand of DNA from the virus to essentially trick your body into building the antibodies necessary. I'm sure there could be some more research on there that I'd be happy to look at the T cell stuff too, but again, I would have to look into that a little bit more.
RPG?
I thought that was just for Hunter.
It's for you too. You
for
can
both.
make a comment.
Oh, I mean, I honestly don't. I'm not even sure about that, so I can't really even comment on it. All I can say again is that the immunity drops after 6 months to 0. That's what I know. That's what I'm sticking to.
Okay. Is it possible vaccines are rapidly mutating the virus?
Yes, that is a possibility, and Hunter will say it's not. And that we actually
no,
started off the
that's a
debate with that question. We
it's a-
started
it's
off
a-
with that.
It's a possibility, like maybe, but there's a much it seems that there would be a bigger risk.
It
with
seems
people
based
with
on what?
COVID.
Based on your personal opinion?
No,
What does
based
it
on
seems?
based on what the professor from the Virginia.
Oh, so based
school
on
said.
what one professor said? Come on, bro. I mean, like
You
this is
just
just.
cited
I
a
could say the
non-peer-reviewed
same
study at
thing.
me and then laughed at me when I mentioned it. So I don't know why
No,
you're acting like
no. When it comes to the
super, on
peer-reviewed
your
thing,
high
everything
horse
I
about
said
the
tonight was
validity of data
peer-reviewed.
here.
But when I present a peer-reviewed study, you scoff at it. So only your peer-reviewed studies count, which is why the whole peer-reviewed thing is kind of bullshit. Because it's like only a leftist-endorsed peer-reviewed study is presentable during a conversation like this. And then if I have one study that isn't peer-reviewed, you go, "Oh, I'm not gonna consider that." There's no so.
Okay, well, to be fair, the Lancet report on hydroxychloroquine was peer-reviewed and it later had to be pulled. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's totally perfect.
I know peer review doesn't make it foolproof. I was literally just
Okay.
making a comment as to why I try to avoid like skimming articles sent in the middle of a debate. I just feel like that's not the best way to actually like have a productive convo.
Totally
Okay.
agree.
Yeah. Straining hospital resources, that was something you brought up, Hunter. If that is an issue, why then are hospitals firing their staff that haven't been vaccinated?
Because if the strain of the hospitals are due to people with COVID and then having extreme adverse effects, then it only makes sense that they don't want people there that aren't protected against, one, getting COVID, and two, having like a really serious negative outbreak. Thirdly, if you work in a hospital, like it's kind of known and common knowledge that like you're going to need to get your vaccines. So it's not like by that logic, well, if hospital resources are so strained, why aren't they just hiring anybody to be a nurse? Like they still have to go by proper procedures. And also, this is a little bit off subject, but I really quickly wanted to bring this up. The team ran an analysis for samples received in May, June, and July of 100,000 UK volunteers, and the results suggested that among people testing positive, those who'd been vaccinated had a lower viral load on average than did unvaccinated people. I'll go ahead and link this in the chat as well if you want to check that out.
Yeah, I'll
sometime.
drop it. Of course.
Okay, another question for both of you. Why are certain countries banning drugs for treating COVID, and how is that not a political issue?
Which drugs?
Maybe drugs like hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin, whatever.
Usually, I think those drugs end up getting discouraged because they haven't been demonstrated to be effective in fighting COVID. So, like the ivermectin thing, for example, yeah, we had the issue with people that were actually consuming horse paste. But
No, that's false.
Well, there was an issue with that, but there's
No,
also
there wasn't. There was never an issue with that. That was false.
There was not
media
a higher.
construction.
There wasn't a higher rate of poison control reports.
Yeah, it went from 1 to 2. That was the difference.
Okay,
That
well,
was bullshit.
either way, there were some people that were consuming like the horse paste shit, but that's not the
Almost
only
nobody.
But that's not the only thing that ivermectin is. Ivermectin is also available for human use, and it treats parasites, and worms, shit like that. So I mean, it's an effective medication for treating parasites, but it's not a very effective medication when it comes to actually like treating COVID. There was a really big review done by I believe it was called the Cochrane Review, which looked over various hospitalization rates and found that it just seemed that when ivermectin was administered, it didn't make it better or worse. It just kind of did nothing.
Okay, I do have some things here on ivermectin. They saw a lot of success with ivermectin in India, in Japan. The Tokyo Medical Association recommended ivermectin for all doctors. In Africa, significantly lower mortality rates and cases in 19 African countries with ivermectin. Which they ended up discovering incidentally because they're taking it for other reasons. They're taking it for anti-parasitical reasons, like Hunter laid out. And then what they happened upon is, oh, what's going on here? These people are all taking ivermectin, and there's a lower mortality rate here. Could there be something to that? The answer is yes. The reason why that answer isn't verified by the scientific community is because there is no financial, the financial motive isn't there. Okay, if they verify that hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and other alternative treatments, if they verify that this stuff works, is effective against COVID, then there's no money to be made off of the newly patented COVID vaccines. It's all about money, this entire thing. Doesn't mean it's not real, but it's all about money. Pfizer's making billions of dollars. Moderna's making billions of dollars. There's no political will. There's no corporate will to verify whether or not ivermectin is effective.
So you can quickly respond. I'm sorry, Hunter.
Yeah, just really quick. So, I mean, when you talk about these other countries, I know there were some other countries that originally it was there for like the standard of care, but I believe that changed over time. Again, you're able to look and be like, hey, they're taking ivermectin, have lower mortality rates. Is there something there? We can speculate all day long, but that absolutely doesn't prove causation. All you have there is some correlation. And the reason I defer to the studies here is because they use randomized controlled trials, which is the best way to test the efficacy of this thing. It was among 1,678 participants. Treatment of mild to moderate COVID-19 patients was investigated in 13 studies comparing ivermectin with placebo or with no treatment. Only one study investigated prevention. The Cochrane Review cannot confirm whether ivermectin compared with placebo or usual care leads to more or fewer deaths after 1 month, whether it improves or worsens patients' condition. So essentially, there was no benefit at all. It just
there might have been. They can't confirm. Maybe the jury's still out.
But this comes from after looking at the overall test. There was no confirmation because there was no significant improvement among those that took ivermectin. And there were studies that were
done. Who sponsored the research? Who overlooked the research?
I know
you understand a lot of these studies are paid for, right?
I know. Yes. Defer to your conspiracy theories. But there's
right. That's never happened before.
Also been
that's never happened before, right? That's never happened before. I'm making that up. Pfizer,
there's no
a company like Pfizer,
there's no place like home.
The largest medical fraud case settlement in history. Pfizer, though, they certainly wouldn't get involved in something like that.
Okay. So anyway, when we look
Why
at
are you such
this
a corporate
information,
bootlicker, man?
we can see very easily how ivermectin doesn't really seem to be benefiting people when we're actually
looking
looking at randomized controlled trials. And it's the same thing also with hydroxychloroquine. We've seen this happen before.
It could be also.
Well.
Let him talk.
Yeah, you got to let him talk.
It's a little distracting.
I'm shutting up now.
Go ahead, Hunter. Sorry.
Oh, that was it. Go ahead.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I did have one quick thing I wanted to interject with, if you don't mind, Radix. I was going to ask RPG just a quick question for you that I had in my notes. Are you saying in your worldview that you think that vaccines have a 0% rate of helping to stop transmission? Do you think there's any rate at all that they help stop transmission?
No, so they definitely do stop transmission, but in order to stop transmission, the immunity level has to remain high. If it's in the 90s, 90 plus, that's a good thing. But if it's dropping down to 20 or it's dropping down to even 0, then that's why they're now stating that it can't stop transmission because the immunity levels have dipped too low. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer like Hunter would love to say. He'd love to call me an anti-vaxxer so he can act like everything I say is illogical, ascientific, not based on reason. But unfortunately for him, I'm just going based off the data and the science.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, I just had that in my notes, Radix. Go ahead.
The vaccine, is it possible that the vaccine puts you at higher risk for other infections? That's addressed to both of you.
Okay, so I'll go first. Once again, it's something that I've heard about. I actually didn't. I did not personally look into that specifically because I feel like even if I did, it's not something that I'd be able to sell to Hunter. So it's absolutely a possibility, but I really can't speak to it.
Does it put you at higher risk of other diseases? Is that the question?
Of other infections. Yes.
I don't think that that's a thing. I mean, I would, again, have to look into that more. I honestly, the other day I saw something that said the opposite, that actually the COVID vaccine provides protection against other viruses and diseases in some aspects as well. But again, I need to look into that a little bit more too. But no, to my understanding, there's not anything to do with that, no.
Okay. Hunter, you've talked about that you think that vaccines should be mandated because of sort of like the greater good of society. What do you say about government being involved in things like alcohol, fast food, and opiate effects?
So it's not just the greater good of society. It's more about how in many ways we already curtail our behavior in, well, oh, wait. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I misspoke here. You're right. Yes, it is about the overall good of society. And that's because we already curtail our behavior in ways to benefit all of society. So the government, for example, restricts you from like driving drunk, right? So that, for example, is a way that you have bodily autonomy, but the government says that you are unable to exercise your right, operate your property, consume what you want because for the good of society. So when you say obesity or opioids or whatever, I mean, that's something that mainly does only affect the individual. Obesity, that really affects mainly the individual. Whereas when we have the unvaccinated, this leads to more mutations. This leads to more spreadability of the Delta variant. We've already gone over kind of the negative impacts there. I mean, I think that people who are overweight should be encouraged to lose weight, absolutely. But the government restricting what someone eats is a lot different than the government or the state mandating someone gets a vaccine, considering the state actually has the right to do that.
My response is that COVID is killing almost exclusively fat people. As far as obesity is concerned, I would ask Hunter, people who are making reckless decisions, people who are obese, people who are addicted to drugs, aren't these people putting a drain on our hospital resources? Do you take issue with those people?
Yes, they absolutely are.
Do you often call those people out and shame them and say they need to be excised from polite society and they need to lose their jobs? Could fat people lose their jobs?
Hold on. Fat people are not contributing to a strain on hospital resources to the same degree as like people with the Delta variant overall. And also keep in mind that when it comes to the Delta variant, it also doesn't just affect fat people. It affects elderly people. It affects people with diabetes. I've known plenty of people that are not fat that have diabetes. That's a thing.
But statistically speaking, that's not normal.
But that is a good point to put to you, actually, RPG. What do you say to the fact that elderly people are at high risk and that the justification for the vaccine obviously is that younger people should take it in order to protect the elderly who are at high risk?
Well, I'm going to make the same point I made the entire time, which is if that was actually the case with the vaccines that are currently available, then Hunter might have an argument. You need to get vaccinated to protect grandma. This is something that we were hearing for the first year or so, and you haven't heard in months now because it isn't true anymore, which is my contention with
It's still no, well, it still negatively impacts like elderly people, absolutely. But when we're talking about why like everybody should get vaccinated, I felt that the hospital resource point is a much more solid one, considering that can affect all of us here as well. And what I wanted to say before, I want to circle back. Yeah. Anyone that's sick, anyone with pre-existing conditions puts a strain on hospital resources. But we're talking about proportions here. And right now, hospitals are having a unprecedented strain put on them because of infections involving COVID-19. So when you get vaccinated and you're less likely to go to the hospital, that makes America a safer, better place for everybody. So that's that, yeah.
Did you have anything else, Radix?
That's pretty much it. I mean, I think the only other thing I wanted to have here was perhaps for you to, Hunter, if you can validate that the vaccine stops transmission, or how that is not relevant to this.
Sure. So I just linked the study that showed that they found that people who were vaccinated and then got COVID had smaller viral loads, which means that it is less likely, or I'm sorry, it slows their transmission, absolutely. But the reason I say that it's not an overall super relevant to this discussion is because whether it stops transmission or not isn't the main thing. Again, it's about what happens if you actually get COVID-19 in this case. And in this case, the vaccinated have a clear advantage in not going to the hospital and having a way higher likelihood of just getting better. Just getting better on their own, whereas the unvaccinated tend to be at a higher risk of needing to go to the hospital. It's about preventing the severity of the virus if you are to get it. It's not just about building up immunity against it, although the vaccine does help in that aspect as well.
As far as viral load is concerned, I have something here. This is from the Lancet Infectious Diseases Journal, and it reads, people who contracted COVID had a similar viral load regardless of whether they had been vaccinated. This was published yesterday, and I could post a link in the chat. So
yeah, please do.
You're wrong about that.
Okay, well, I mean, I just read you the study that showed the complete opposite. So I'll look over your study. You can look over mine. We'll see where we go from there.
Gentlemen, that was a hell of a good debate. I appreciate both of you coming on. Can we end with some words of wisdom? First from you, Hunter, and then Red Pill Gaming, and I'll let you guys get on your way. Go ahead.
Yeah, look me up on my YouTube, Hunter Avalone, or my Twitch, Hunter Avalone. Appreciate the conversation again, Red Pill Gaming. Stay safe out there, buddy. That's my words of wisdom.
Thanks, The Crucible. Thanks you once again, Hunter, for another good debate.
Thanks,
RPG, words of wisdom.
Well, to show myself real quick, the name is Red Pill Gaming TV. I live stream on Odyssey. I have a daily news program that I do. I also put stream highlights on YouTube. If you want the hot takes, go to Telegram, RPG TV, or follow me on Gab at Red Pill Gaming TV. As far as words of wisdom, I wish I could have had a more productive conversation with Hunter. I feel like I feel like we spent a lot of time talking past each other, although I would argue he was the one talking past me, but that's neither here nor there. And I did lose my cool quite a bit. I was getting frustrated. So for people in the audience who maybe weren't so crazy about that, you know, this is my first major debate. So it's something that I was excited for, looking forward to, and I hope to do it again. BPF, thank you so much, man. And to do a little bit of ass kissing, great job with your platform so far. You're kicking ass, and I'm excited to see the channel grow. Radix, thank you for your questions, and that's it.
You guys have a great night. Thanks again.
Take care.
See ya. All right, we got a lot of losers in my Discord right now saying, LMAO, you lost to Beardson. Save Western Civilization now. You have 3 seconds. Get in the Discord. If you don't show up, you're perma-banned. Okay? I'm not scared of you, little man. Good. Then get in the Discord. Let's talk. Dude, that was a fucking headache, that guy. Oh my god. I kept trying to, like, explain everything. He was so eager to, like... The Void, come on. Get in. Get in. Get in my Discord. Come on, buddy. Save Western Civilization now. Get over here, bub. The person I already agreed with won the debate. Yes, exactly. That was just a headache. The thing is like people are telling me they're like, Hunter's being bad at the debate. It's like, dude, that's fucking exhausting when like I'm trying to like say something and then instantly it's like, fuck you, blah, 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 and you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm trying to explain. And then it's like, we don't have all day for you to read the article. I'm like, bro. Come on, save Western civilization now. You have such a cute name. Let's go. Where are you at? Pretty sure they said they wouldn't. Oh. Okay, well, let's go ahead and ban this guy then. See you later, save Western civilization. You can go save Western civilization somewhere else. Bye. You're perma. Ouch. Gone. All right, who else? The Void. I want to talk to that guy. Anyone who is saying I lost the debate or I'm cringe or don't vaccinate me, I'm so scared. I'm right here. Are you in the Discord? You're joining? Good. That would be far too easy and trivial of a matter to win. All but a waste of time. I expect better next time. What would be better next time to you when someone's like hurling insults left and right, cutting me off every second, saying a bunch of things that are wrong, and I'm trying to respond to them at this all at once and then getting yelled at for trying to respond? Like, could you let me know? Quality debating. All right. Believe me, people are going to like this. Hey, don't vaccinate the weak. You too, get in here. Poi Grant, Bud, Pal, what's up, dude? Are you in the Discord? And if so, what's your username? Is it Jay Smith? Is that you? Are you Starboy? I'm pretty sure some of the haters here came from 4chan. Hunter did indeed win. All right. Hello, are you the guy from chat? Hello? Yeah, I should have harped on him a little harder on the hospital capacity thing. Hunter lost, yikes. Oh, goody, please, get in here. Get in the Discord. The Void, come on, get in here. Where's the dude that said he's, Okay, Poe Groyant, what is your username on Discord, and I will call you. Please. Just tell me your Discord name. Is it Starboy? Are you... Wait a minute. All right. Can you just tell me your username, bruh? It's Pogroyant? Did you never join the Discord then? Wow. Are you guys good? What the fuck is up? Hunter won the movie. brother Groint would like to go first. I would like to call him, but he doesn't tell me his name, and I don't see him in my Discord. So I think that he's just... I don't think we're going to be talking to him because he's not showing up. I swear, man. Well, then why do I not see your username in my Discord? Are you just trolling me at this point? Are you R2 Magnum? I'm not even big on Hunter, but anyone saying he lost his dilution, LOL. It was rough all around, but Hunter actually had arguments instead of constant whining. My name is Pogroyant. I know your name, but you're not in here. I'm going to send you the invite again, okay? Here. Join again. Try it again. And make sure you fill out... You might have to click something before you're able to talk. Yeah, click the rules and the check mark. You got to go through and scroll through the rules and everything, and then once you're joined, I can call you directly. Edgar Allan Poe. Ultimate Weapon 2000, thanks for the $5. Hunter, COVID vaccines do reduce transmission of the virus against Delta, just at lower rate than before. Right. I sent a friend request. Oh. What's this? Laboratory for pending. Okay, here we go. I got you. All right, I'm calling you, buddy. Pogroyant. Look in the 1v1. I see you. Cool. Pogroyant. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Let me try just calling directly. That delay, yeah, it's...
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, is this the man, the myth, the legend, Pogroyant?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm a very serious debater. I'm interested in debating. I'm very serious. No sarcasm involved. Very interested.
So is this whole thing just like a shtick for you to get on the channel?
No. I'll be honest. I found you, maybe 40, 50 minutes ago.
Oh, so you just found me and you decided you don't like me?
No, I found your live stream. I followed you like a long time ago, and then I realized, oh, this guy's streaming again,
and then you didn't really like what you saw?
No.
All right, so what's up?
Nothing. I'm just chilling.
What do you want to talk about?
Feelings? I don't know.
All right. Well, I feel like ending this convo because you don't sound like a serious person to talk to.
I'm very serious. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Speak clearly, brother. Hey, The Void, why don't you jump on instead of this fucking troll? Laboratory confirmed COVID-19 among adults hospitalized with COVID-19-like illness with infection-induced... Induced immunity. We know this. Can provide immunity and protection against... Among COVID-19 like illness, hospitalizations among adults aged 18 years whose previous infection or vaccination occurred 90 to 100. The adjusted odds of laboratory confirmed COVID-19 among unvaccinated adults with previous SARS-CoV infection were 5.49-fold higher than the odds among fully vaccinated recipients of mRNA COVID vaccine who had no confidence level of or had no previous infection. Yeah, I'm going to record this little part real quickly. So this is something that I should have had in my notes. I mean, he was literally like screaming at me when I was taking like a second to try to like search my notes for the thing to respond. But this shows right here from CDC compares the natural immunity. Among COVID-19 like illness, hospitalizations among adults aged 18 years whose previous infection or vaccination occurred 90 to 179 days earlier, the adjusted odds of laboratory confirmed COVID-19 among unvaccinated adults with previous infection, so they should have natural immunity, were 5.49-fold higher than the odds among fully vaccinated recipients of an mRNA COVID vaccine who had no previous documented infection. So, again, this is from the CDC, but I'm sure we have a non-peer-reviewed pamphlet from East Africa that disproves this. All right, well, do any other trolls want to actually get on, or do these people literally just want to show up, say a bunch of shit, and then not actually talk? Because if so, then you're like the worst type of people. Where's the void at? Hey, Void, where you at? I want to talk to you. What? Yeah? What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Going good. What's up?
I just wanted to. I think you're grifting.
Why do you say I'm spreading misinfo?
Dude, I don't know, man. I just feel like it, man.
So are you trolling right now?
No, I don't know. I just don't really believe you.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I mean,
well, there's a few reasons. Okay, I just don't know if those sources were actually peer reviewed.
Which sources?
Well, I can't name them like directly right now, but like some of the ones you mentioned in the last debate.
Okay.
Do you think we could pull them up?
I don't know if I literally am having a hard time reading if you're fucking trolling or not right now.
No, I'm dead ass. Would you mind could you like get on a Google Doc or something? Could you like send me the sources?
I mean, yeah. Which one do you want?
No, I just want to see if they're peer reviewed or not. Because I don't know, man. I feel like you've just been grifting, bro.
So how would this be? Let's say that hypothetically I sent you this and none of my stuff was peer reviewed. How would that be grifting?
Well, I just think, okay, I'm kind of going all over the place right now. Basically, I think this is like the main reason why you're like spreading misinfo is because you're grifting.
So what misinfo am I spreading?
I don't know, man. It's like intuition. You know what? This isn't really. I'm gonna have to call you back. I don't want to make these claims.
Yeah, if I were you, I would go and look around before you make these claims. Because what you're saying right now is just incorrect. Also, I never claimed that every single study I ever breathe out of my mouth is peer reviewed. It's just generally speaking when we talk about stuff from like the CDC, the FDA, shit like that. That's pretty like authoritative sources. And yes, there is.
Do you trust the WHO?
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
So yeah, well, you're the person that only trusts their intuition. So I don't know if you're in any position to be criticizing
Bro,
me.
you gotta follow your heart.
Yep. Trust your heart. That's what they said in Star Wars, right?
Well, it's good.
All right. See you later, Fudge Boy. No way this dude isn't a troll. I don't fucking know. All right, where's the Void? Did he ever send me... Did you send me a friend request? Because so far, all of you people have turned out to be nothing but trolls. And it's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't even see it. The troll team is running. Yeah, seriously. There were like... wait, guys, chat, help me out. Was there like a group of just like 3 guys that just like repeatedly kept saying like, Hunter's losing, Hunter lost, Hunter's losing this debate, Hunter lost. I'm Void Star? He's already there? Okay. Are you Void? Okay. Okay. Hold on. I see you in here, but I don't see how to get to, Alright, I'm just gonna send you a friend request. Wait a minute, why is it not working now? There were 3 trolls. Void Stars, number 6747. It's not letting me send you a request. You can try to send me a request. Yo, if you want to debate something else, I'm totally down. No, I want to debate this Void guy. Is it in like, is he in just like general? It's only coming up with 2 different things, which is just a Carl bot. It's not actually giving me like any of his messages or anything. Hey, Void Star. It was fairly embarrassing how you lost that debate. Okay, good. Perfect. You show up. All right, perfect. I'll go ahead and send you the link. And I look forward to talking to you in a minute, buddy. Oh, wait. Okay. The Riddler. Discord link. Join. To the Discord with you, lad. The Void was too devoid of any points, so I guess he's just irrelevant now. Can someone get me in voice chat? The Void, just comment in general. Or in waiting room text. That's all I need you to do, and I will comment. I'll call you. You're too nice, too patient? Not really. One free man defending his home is worth more than 10 hired Antifa. God, this is so unorganized. Can someone get me in voice chat? If you're in the server, just go to the waiting room. I don't know what your problem is. And then I'm still waiting on the Riddler to show up too. You're talking to the Void Hunter, nothing gets through. Well, yeah, if I don't see them in a second, or if they don't like comment in regular chat, they're just gonna get banned. Retire him, Void. Come on. Or Riddler. You guys seem so confident to talk shit in chat. Where are you at in the Discord, huh? He's not going to show up, is he? Hunter waiting for that call 400 years later. Seriously. Frankly, a mess. All right. Yep. You had the chance to join. You didn't, so you're banned. Bye. Void, you're banned too. Someone named Yikes joined. We'll see if these are the people. No, Riddler didn't delete his message. It deleted it after I banned him. The Riddler was oppressed. Yeah. They're so bad at this. It's so fucking hysterical. Yeah, I'll be fair, dude. I'm fucking getting exhausted after that thing. Oh my god. That guy was really annoying. I really wanted to hear that conversation. Yep. So did I. But they never want to show up. Void wasn't making it happen. Yeah, then just... Then if I see him again, if it's unrelated to that, I'll just... If these guys aren't coming through, let me talk. Do you want to debate, or... Well, I can appreciate the dedicated trolls. That's pretty cool. If you can answer one question, I will come on deal. The Batman? Oh. Who are you? Let's get this done. I'm in the Discord already. Is your name the Batman or is it Dripsies? I mean, I don't see anyone named Batman that just joined my server, so... I'm making the Avalonian Empire canon to your arc. Okay. If you answer one question, I will come on. Well, apparently I'm about to debate Batman himself. Yep, it's true. These trolls talk a big game and then complain about technical difficulties when push comes to shove. True. Your Drixies? You mean Dripsies? I'll ban them for fun next time you're debating. Well, I want them to first be invited to Discord before you ban anybody. I made you a moderator. Please don't abuse it. Okay, where is this dude? He keeps saying he showed up and he's just not here. Are you Dripsies? Oh, Evan Crespo. I'm Drixis? No one is named Drixis. Alright, fuck it. This is a waste of my time. These big streamers talk big and argue short game. Wait. I want to talk to you, but you're not in the Discord. What's your username, Batman? The Batman is calling you out to debate. I'll debate Batman right here, right now, dude. Come on. This is what I meant by patient. Oh, well, I like to give them a chance to show up because when they do, it's really quite fun. But, oh well. Guys, I think I'm going to just